let's set this up. One moment, please. One moment, please. No starting soon screen today. What? What is going on? Find out. Hopefully that link works. Okay. Some copy pastas. Yo, Cheeky Banter. How's it going? 𝕾𝖍𝖎𝖙𝖘𝖍𝖔𝖜. Hello. YouTubers in. Staying strong. Merc off the perc. That's her name. She'll be joining us in about 20-30 minutes here. I wanted to go live a little early because I have a lot of things on my mind about China and Taiwan. But yeah. Did I spell it wrong? I did spell it wrong. Apologies, kings and queens. Let me get the rage clickbaity title a little bit better. They are someone who I recently became aware of, very new to the streaming space, and their conversation with Destiny, XQC, and Turkey Tom was interesting enough to me that I wanted to invite them on my show and talk to them. It wasn't interesting because what she said in the conversation so much as how she was. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to kind of pick her brain a little bit, see if she was satisfied with that discussion, talk to her about her plans moving forward, talk to her about all sorts of things. We're going to have our friend Rora come on stream as well to help me out. Give a little feminine viewpoint to the whole thing in a way that I cannot. And yeah, we will see how it goes. Oh, and YouTube, yes. Oh, and YouTube. Gotta see what she's talking about. You'll have to experience it, okay? I don't want to give the game away. It's like a ride, okay? It'll be like a roller coaster ride. I promise you. It'll be interesting and fun. You gotta trust me, bros. You gotta trust me on this one, okay? I may not be the most entertaining character around these parts, but I got an eye for content, okay? And this is content, and this will be interesting. We'll see how it goes, all right? I've been wrong before. And I'll be wrong again. Here, let's see. My Discord's all fucked up. Yo, if you're watching on Kick, let me know you're there. Okay, YouTube's popping off, right? YouTube's getting together, but Kick, y'all are just silent as the grave here. What's going on? I know you could type into the chat there. That's a few of you watching. We'll see. I know 𝕾𝖍𝖎𝖙𝖘𝖍𝖔𝖜. She does not hide anything. This is a very genuine person in the sense that they will tell you what they think and what they feel. Now, whether you could trust what they think or what they feel, whether this is a character, that's a question we're going to be asking as well. We're going to be delving into that, but I promise you it's not going to be, nothing will be hidden. There will be no disguises, okay? This might be the old double blind. Like, it could be that they are a genius level actress, and this will be that she's running a con, but I don't think so. What time is this Merc shit at? She's going to be coming on in about 20 minutes here. So Emery in my Discord is asking what time this is happening. About 20 minutes. But again, I wanted to go live. I wanted to warm up, you know, lube up the old vocal cords, get into the thing, not be so stiff in my opening, right? Plus, I wanted to, again, talk about the China-Taiwan situation. That's once again escalating. Once again, things are going to start popping off here soon. More and more that I learn about this situation, more and more we learn, like, thanks for the ban, Unicorn Exhaust. Appreciate it. They're welcome to come if they really do have my address. They're welcome to come by, but it's going to be a very boring conversation that we'll have. I don't know what to tell them. So China and Taiwan once again are going through this thing where China saber rattles basically at the U.S. There is more and more and more compelling intelligence to suggest that China is preparing for a military conflict with the United States through the vector of an invasion of Taiwan or a military annexation, forcible reunification, whatever you want to call it, with Taiwan. They are expecting the U.S. will intervene and there will be a conflict between that. Again, more and more credible individuals in the intelligence community are coming forward, presenting this as a very real possibility. When, in my mind, as amateur armchair foreign policy guy here, it's not a question of if China is going to invade Taiwan. It is a question of when. It is a question of when it will happen. Because China's on a clock. Domestically, they're having a lot of problems right now. They're trying to keep it quiet, trying to keep it up to wraps, but there's a lot boiling under the surface. Let he who has eyes see, let he who has ears hear, that kind of thing. It's beyond the scope of this stream to go into the specifics of it, so I will not do that. I just encourage you to look it up. Google it, basically. If I had the sources readily at hand, I'd just share them with you. But rather than risk giving you misinformation, I will simply direct you to sources that have been written recently on this. There was an article in The Spectator recently. Wall Street Journal has written about this. There's been quite a few policy experts that have sounded off. It should be very easy to find information on. But because China's on this clock, they're going to need to make a move. Whether that be forcibly taking resources from its neighbors or some sort of reforms internally. Evidence seems to indicate that they're looking at the military option. They have for years been doing encroachment into the Philippines territory, building fake islands in their territory, and just more and more kind of nipping at the Filipino territory. They've been in border skirmishes, for lack of a better term, with India for a while. And again, they've made it very clear for a long, long time that they view Taipei as theirs, Taiwan as theirs. One China policy type of deal. And yeah, it's they've recently done a lot of military exercises around the Strait of Taiwan. They've been flying planes past the quote unquote border there. They've been doing a lot of escalatory tactics, escalatory rhetoric. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be an interesting. Yeah, that's a word for it. An interesting few years. I think they're also learning the wrong lessons from Ukraine as well. They are looking at what Putin did, and instead of saying, "Oh man, Putin's really stuck his nose in it," right? They're saying, "Well, they made mistakes, but we can learn from those mistakes and do better." It's definitely going to be an issue. Ukraine's also in the midst of its counteroffensive with Russia. And this bears talking about too. Ukraine and Russia look more and more to be devolving into kind of a stalemate. We've said this before, right? And then there's been some gains by the Ukrainians, but they've really sold out. Yeah, I don't have enough info to tell you this with any sort of surety, but I fear and I worry that it's going to turn into a war of attrition. Putin really does believe that the longer this goes on, the better chance that he has of achieving victory in Ukraine. Now, whether he's wise to believe that or not, time will tell. But for now, he really is hell-bent on pursuing this special military operation, and it's a problem. I know that Ukraine has gone slower than they would have liked on their counteroffensive, but don't count them out yet, right? We'll see how it goes. How's my chat doing? Oh, I see you, Ukrainian Unicorn Exhaust. Sorry, not Ukrainian Exhaust. Unicorn Exhaust banning more people in the kick chat. Wonderful, wonderful. YouTube, how are you doing? Are you a little more sane? Oh, you're talking to each other. Portland, what's up, Portland? How you doing? How's it going? Let me DM Rora, see if she's ready to come on in. Just jump backstage anytime. Yeah, gang, we got another 15 minutes or so before she gets here. And yeah, we'll talk. Tomfoolery, what's up? How's it going? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. I hate to give away the game too much here. I don't want to tell you about Merc to perc. I want to show you Merc off to perc. There's an old adage in the writing world, show don't tell. This is what I want to do today. So I'm hesitant to talk it up too much. Because who knows? Maybe my judge of this has been entirely off base. Maybe I'm going to eat crow today. Maybe it's going to be a productive, interesting, thoughtful, deep conversation. But if I had $100 to bet, that's not where my money would go. Yeah, she wild, Tom? What does that mean? What does wild mean? You say these words, but like, is it wild as in Tom's version of wild, or wild as in actually wild? I don't know. I know that she likes the slurs, so we're gonna ask her not to, but we'll see. Forever wild? I don't think she's forever wild. I don't know. I think that we've had a lot of conversations on exploitation, and I worry sometimes, right, that having people like this on is exploitative in a way. But I don't think she's like, despite the clickbait title, I don't think she's actually has anything wrong with her upstairs. But I worry that she's too new to the space to understand what she's doing. And I worry that she's going to be taken advantage of by people with less than stellar intention. I don't know, though. At the end of the day, she's an adult. She can do what she wants. But I want to kind of pick her brain a little. Dream Homie, what's up? How you doing? Allie, hi. See who else is here. Red, nice to see you. Emery, hello. Who else is in the chat? Sound off if you're here. If you're a wicker, if you're wicking out, you're ready for this interesting conversation. Zix, hello. Rose trying to ride the clout wave. Is this what it is? It's a clout wave? Maybe. Kilo, how's it going? And look, I try to do different types of content now and again. I'll do a lot of panels, but I'm trying to branch out. Will I let her go wild? Nothing toss. We're not on Twitch though, so toss is much more lenient on YouTube. Kick in some ways. 𝕵𝖎𝖎𝖙𝖘𝖍𝖔𝖜, you will pay me to what? You will pay me to what, 𝕵𝖎𝖎𝖙𝖘𝖍𝖔𝖜? More Doobie? You know, I'm thinking of inviting Doobie to Friday's show. We're gonna have Turkey Tom on Friday to talk about React content. We're gonna have a couple other people probably, and we're gonna talk about the ethics of that. It'll be fun. Tomorrow's gonna be interesting. Like, gang, we got a lot of content coming up this week. Okay, there's banger after banger after banger. Okay, so tomorrow is going to be 𝕵𝖎𝖎 versus President Sunday on Jordan Peterson on his Maps of Meaning. Then Wednesday, we're going to have Lonerbox, Lauren De Laguna, President Sunday. We're going to have Straighter Aid. We're going to have Allie. We're going to have, not Allie that's in chat right now, a different Allie. And we're going to have Carl Max on. We're going to talk about shoplifting. Thursday is going to be Non-Smoker versus Sansol on the Holodomor. And then Friday is Turkey Tom and React content. So, yes, banger after banger after banger this week. $5 from Cheeky Banter. Hey, just want to show support as a newer guy over here, fam. It's good stuff. Well, thank you. I'm glad you think so. Will you still think so after tonight? I don't know. I'm not sure. Like, again, this is different than I normally do. So we're trying something new. We're shaking it up. We'll see how it goes. Will I still have an audience after this? It's up in the air. I'm not sure. Yeah. Then the week after this week, we got some stuff on the horizon, gang. That's not like set in stone yet, but it's coming. I'm going to talk to the Allie that's actually in chat now about mental illness. Whick, are you the mentally ill woman? Sometimes I think so. No, I'm not. We're going to have, again, she's coming on in about 10, 15 minutes. Give me a second. Rora will be here too. Rora's not the mentally ill person either. She's just co-hosting with me tonight because, again, I might need backup. We'll find out. But Rora will be on here soon. It's debatable as to whether you have an audience now. Ooh, sick burn. I mean, they pay me. So, I mean, look, that at the end of the day, I could have 0 viewers, and as long as I'm making the money I do each month, I don't give a shit. Like, none of you can watch me as long as you keep giving me money. That's really all I care about at the end of the day. Just keeping it real, just keeping it 100. So, you know, is what it is. I'm glad that you like my content, those of you who do. And those of you who hate watch me, welcome. You know, there's a lot to hate. I hate watch me sometimes. But here it is. Whick needs the feminine energy. Voila! Feminine energy. Hello, Rora. How are you?
Hello.
Got a
One
camera for us
moment.
today?
Let me disable my camera and
Yes, Red. You don't have to watch if you pay. If you give me $20, you can leave for the day. I'll let you go home. Cool? $20 and go. Otherwise, yes, you have to watch. I'll give her a second. It's tech, and we know how women are with tech. Oh, that's a joke. There's
yeah,
no misogyny here.
unfortunately,
No misogyny
kind of my
here.
disability. There we go.
Beautiful. What's up?
Not much. I'm excited for this.
How's
How
your
have you
Baldur's
been?
Gate been going? By the way, I saw you playing
It's
it earlier.
so enjoyable, and I played 3.5. I'm talking forever ago. I barely remember any of it. So it's just been so fun and I am excited because I know there's so much more to it and I forget that I have so many options, right? Like it is a lot of fun. How are you liking it? Have you played it yet?
Yeah. I played it when I got out. I did my first run through. I'm letting it settle before I try other characters and things like that. But I'm a big fan of the genre. I've played CRPGs for a while. It's always enjoyable to me. I don't understand how people can play that kind of game on stream. Like, I don't think it would be fun for people to watch me play it because I like to click on everything, and I'm
Yeah.
very methodical about it, and so that could be a little boring for people. I'm sure, but it's fun for me. Plus, I also don't want to mix my fun with my job too much.
Fair.
I don't want it to feel like a job when I play these games, but
Well, it can take away the fun too, right? Like you don't want to.
true enough.
I'm messing with OBS and I keep sticking stuff in folders,
It's okay.
triggering the
Take your time.
fuck
Take
out of
your
me.
time.
All right, no, I think we're good now. Okay.
So yeah, you've said you've watched a lot of her content.
Yes.
Before she gets here, you know, before you have that kind of pressure on you, I'm just curious, what's your initial impression overall?
First impression or impression after I watched some of her content?
Both. Give me both.
At first, I was like, "Holy crap, unhinged edgelord!" Like I didn't know what to expect. And after watching, because I really wanted to make sure I did some research and I wasn't jumping into this blind. And as you know, I have not had the best showings on your channel, and this is sort of like what I'm better at versus
You
like
keep
something.
saying that. Like you keep saying that you
I
haven't done
I
the best
expect
showings.
better out of myself.
Well, I can't speak for that, but you've performed fine for me. Like, to my expectations, you've done fine.
Well, thank you. But yeah, I did a bunch of research. I was just wanted to make sure I went into this uh knowledgeable, and I'm very much gathering. And I obviously don't know the whole story. I'm just basing this off of a quick impression of someone on the internet, but I'm gathering this is a very traumatized person. This is a person that is clearly hurting. And my overall observation, sort of relating this to my own growth pattern, because I exhibited some self-destructive behaviors online about 10, 11 years ago when I was her age. And my concern, I guess, and I concern is, the big word for someone I don't really know, obviously, but the concern would be that these are self-destructive behaviors that are going to, they're almost like self-harming in a way. Based on some of the things that she said about it, and then the contradictions where she's talked about other things she's regretted. So,
Yeah, we'll find out, I suppose.
yeah.
It's again, this is not my normal type of content, and I'm just so curious. I think that's at the end of the day what's driving this is I just want to know why, right? Why?
Yep.
Just why? If I were recorded doing a quarter of what, and I don't want to personalize this to her. This is applicable to many people.
Generalizing.
But there are plenty of people where I watch their stuff, or I come across their stuff, and I look at it. I'm like, if I were to behave this way and have it recorded for everyone to see, okay, and then have it clipped and shared around and passed around, I'd die of embarrassment. I would be ashamed. And you have people who not only are okay with it, but who revel in it, who do it
Yes.
on purpose.
So
And
they get positive attention from it. I think that's a
yeah.
big, motivator.
And so I am, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't understand it, and I'm going to try to understand it because, and I don't want
Yeah.
this to come across as like I'm attacking this person. I'm not.
Same.
I don't
Yep.
I don't know her. Part of this
Yep.
is getting her on so I can maybe get to know her a little bit and find out. Though we are going to have a talk about her XQC tattoo she got. Did you see that shit?
I saw that today and I was like, "Oh my goodness."
Look, I
So,
got nothing against tattoos. It's not for me. Okay? I'm not a tattoo guy as in but that's not because I don't like tattoos. It's because I'm very fickle. And so
mhm.
it's hard for me to choose something that I would want permanently on my body. I get analysis paralysis about it. I'm like,
Yep.
oh, but would this be something I want there forever? Commitment adverse, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, it's a problem.
I have a few I regret, so.
Which is the most regretful tattoo that you have?
I have a tattoo of a naked girl on my hip, and that gets awkward in situations where you're around kids, so I'll, like, draw a Sharpie over her boobs, like, say if I have to go out in a bikini or something, but this one I got when I was 17, and it's a Banksy recreation. It's the girl blowing her brains out, and it turns into butterflies, and it goes
Oh,
across my
damn.
back, and, I got that when I was 17, which is a long time ago, and they always said, "When you're my age, you're gonna regret it," and I do now. So
I
that's another
mean,
one I regret. And
at
this one
least
here.
it has some art to it, right? Like at least it's artful. There are some people who like get people's names tattooed on them, like
Ugh. I have the
yeah, it's
word
just
name tattooed on my wrist.
the what?
Uh, I got the flash art, and it just says name. So, and then
Oh,
this
it's
is
just like a
Dune's
generic
Litany
name
Against Fear.
tattoo?
Huh?
It's
Sorry?
just like a generic name tattoo?
It says name, the word name. That's it.
Look,
And
okay.
and then this is Dune's Litany Against Fear, and my only complaint about
Fear is
this
the
is,
mind
like, when I
killer.
go out, people will not stop asking me about it, so that one I regret.
Those plebeians who've never read Dune. I will say though, the book was a little dry. Okay.
Yeah. I really liked the 6-episode TV series that they had back in the day. That was really good.
There's been a lot of how do you like the newest iteration?
I've not seen any of the new stuff at all.
I really enjoyed the first installment, Dune 1, I can say. I thought just for the fact of the ambiance that it set,
Mhm.
uh the level of CGI and cinematography and the acting was all top notch. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The story is the story is the story, but we'll see. Okay, let's see where she is. Let me give her a DM. She
Sounds
said
good.
she wanted to do this a little earlier because she got off work earlier, but I was knee deep in other things.
Okay.
But we'll see. I told her 6:45 was when have it happen.
Sounds good.
Yeah, give me a
No problem. Yeah, she very much reminds me. I'm just gonna yammer while you're doing this. She very much reminds me of myself. We have a lot of similarities from, like, I'm from Michigan. I had a super hard childhood. I was very poor growing up. Had a lot of family issues, family trauma, relationship trauma, and I exhibited some, like, I'm gonna be honest, not as unhinged, but I've definitely exhibited some of the same edgy self-destructive behavior online. So, it's, very it kind of spoke to me, learning a bit about her, so I'm very interested in doing this.
I am too. I sent her a DM when she gets
Okay.
here. I don't want this to turn into like a lol cow session if we can help it. I know a
Yeah,
lot of my
no.
audience might want that, but that's not the goal.
Yeah.
Um I I think that the fact that she's been able to be on platforms that have large audiences speaks to at least some level of cleverness. I think that the proof that you belong somewhere is that you are somewhere in a lot of ways, at least in this space. You being there is proof enough to me that you, at least on some level, belong there. But yeah. You guys need a cat fight? They're saying we need a cat fight in chat. I don't know if that's going to happen. Might.
Well, in reality, she would take me. I'm only 5'5", so.
But there are pretty stupid streamers. There might be, but there's different levels of intelligence. You can be stupid, but you can be clever at the same time. And in
Yep.
fact, a lot of smart people can also be stupid, much to my chagrin, right? They're too smart that they are stupid. That's a thing. Um,
Well, there are types of intelligence, right? So.
very true. Very true. Okay. Yeah, well, hopefully she gets here soon.
She's leaving you in suspense, right?
Maybe. You gotta keep them wanting more is the phrase, right?
Right.
But you also have to build up the anticipation for a thing.
She's edging us right now.
I'm on edge of my literally. I wore pants today. Okay, that's how serious I'm taking this.
Same. I wore real pants for this.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big deal. Waistbands are no joke.
Look,
okay,
not sweatpants either. I'm talking jeans. Okay,
right.
I'm talking
Same.
jeans. Today's just been a wild day for me, and there's no real reason it should have been. I get too caught up in people's opinions on Twitter, I think.
Well, it's excellent for engagement. I mean, if you're tweeting a lot.
It's like, did you see the Mike from PA take on Taiwan and Hassan's take on Taiwan recently?
Yes, I did. And one of my close friends DM'd me and called Mike from PA a Hassan dick rider, and I was just laughing really hard about that. So
that's it. It's not funny because it's true, right? Like
Hassan could eat shit off the floor, and Mike from PA would tweet defending it. So
I mean, that's just a very prominent example of a very common thing in these spaces is this loyalty, right? This you have to have every opinion and defend everyone on your quote unquote team in order to get the other team. And it's a problem. But the guest of honor has arrived. Please give a round of applause to the one, the only.
All right.
Merc off the perk. Hello. You're live.
Hello.
You got a camera for us today?
Yes, I'm getting it set up for Forgive Me.
Nothing to forgive. Yeah?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
I love that. I do that too on stream.
Okay. Welcome. First of all, how's your day been?
My day has been phenomenal. How has yours been?
Oh, well, too soon to tell. The stream's just started. There's still plenty of time for things to go terribly wrong. We're going to find out today, gang. We're going to see how it goes. I'm excited to have this conversation with you, mainly because I saw you talking with Destiny, Turkey Tom, XQC, etc. And during the course of that conversation, it became more and more apparent that I just had to kind of pick your brain on. I had to go on, please.
Sorry. First of all, let me explain that whole situation.
Yeah.
So I have
really, first of all, let's see the tattoo.
Yeah, I want to see it. I saw a picture of it. I want to see it.
Let's see the tattoo. First, I think again, as I told my audience, there's a saying in writing, show, don't tell. And I think that's going to be okay. Fair enough. Now do your explaining. Okay, go ahead. Explain the situation.
All right. So at first, mind you, I've only been streaming for about a month, right? I started August 7th. I'm new to this. I never really watched streamers. Like, I was more of like a Discord kitten YouTube kind of girl, all right? I would sit in Discords and just watch YouTube all the time. Well, I just started streaming, and the way my mind works, I want to do things that are worthy of attention, right? Whether it's like saying off the wall shit, playing into the whole drama, reality TV-esque kind of content. I wanted to do something and be very multifaceted and like a variety streamer, right? So it's like, what's one thing I could do? Like have like a parasocial relationship with another big streamer, like a crazy fangirl type of thing. So at first it started off as a joke, right? Like, oh, I'm in love with XQC, like all this. And in reality, like, I didn't really watch him that much, but I do find him visually attractive, and like I am sexually attracted to him. He's a very attractive person, but like it stops there because like, one, I don't know him personally, and like I don't watch much of his content. At the time, I didn't watch much of his content. And then slowly but surely, like it's now it's not so much a joke anymore. I think I've convinced myself that I actually do have a crush on him. And so here's how it happened. Back when I first started streaming, I set a sub goal. I was like, oh,
a month ago,
what do you... Yeah, I set a sub goal. I was like, "Oh, at 300 subs, I'll get an XQC tattoo," like, as a joke, right? Because I didn't think I would actually reach that goal, like, I didn't think it was possible, and then sure enough, I reached that goal, and, like, I asked people, I was like, "Should I actually get the tattoo?" And some were like, "Yeah," some were like, "Nah," and then they're like, "Just, like, don't worry about it," and then I felt bad because, like, if I'm gonna be a serious streamer and, actually entertain people, I wanna keep the promises I make. So I just randomly decided, on Saturday, it was my birthday, I was like, "I'm gonna go to the mall," and then I passed the tattoo shop, and immediately I got the idea in my head, "Get the tattoo." So, I got the tattoo, and mainly it was for content. I think that a lot of people think I'm crazy, but to me, personally, I think I'm smart because it drums up exposure, content, drama. I think it's hilarious. I think
I mean, we're
it's like
talking about it, right? I mean,
I
it's
get
yeah,
something
that.
that people are talking about. I guess
It's
I
something you can
would I
cover
would
up
take
sometimes.
yeah.
perhaps issue with the wisdom of it, but it's not my body. It's so,
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm a very different person off the internet. Everything I do online, majority of the time is just me fucking trolling around. But off the internet, I'm actually quite normal. So it's like I do these things online that are crazy, and it completely contrasts with my real life. So the only thing
how
that
are we
really,
supposed to believe that though? Right? This is
Yeah.
something you said in the conversation that I wanted to pick at a little bit, if you don't mind, please. You said that you do a lot of things for attention. You drum it. You play it up for the audience, for the cameras,
Mhm.
etc. This is something you said, but then you made the statement that now you're trying to be more genuine. But my
Yeah,
question is, since you've already said that you make shit up,
yeah.
you drum it up for attention, how are we supposed to believe, or how is the audience supposed to believe that now you're being genuine, or in whatever place or setting you find yourself that you say you're being genuine, that you aren't still just playing a different character?
I think either way, like, people are gonna think what they wanna think. Like, once they've made up their mind about me, that's what they think. The only thing I know and the only thing that I go off of is how I feel as a person. I know my intentions. I know who I am as a person, and as long as I remember that and, like, not stray too far from, like, my morals of what I would do on the internet versus real life, that's all that matters. I don't A lot of people have opinions about me on the internet. That's their problem, not mine kind of thing. But it would be nice to have people believe me. I mean, the people who watch me consistently, like, they enjoy me, like, 'cause I
I
do
have
let
some I have an interesting history. First off, I grew up in Flint. I'm from Michigan. We
Mhm,
have a lot of similarities with, I watched the streamer you opened up to Steven a bit, and we have a
mhm,
lot of similarities with trauma and stuff. I'm 35, so
mhm,
you remind me a lot of a younger version of myself. And I will say this, I used to play a character.
mhm,
I used to be married to a pretty infamous online troll back in the day, back in the Justin TV Ustream days, and I played a character, and I ended up hating it.
mhm,
I started developing my frontal lobe later than most people, and I started to really wanna just be myself,
mhm.
and the more I wasn't myself and the more I played a character, the further I strayed from ever being able to actually be myself
Yeah,
online. Because like you said, you would like if people believed you, and I
mhm.
very much got caught up for many years in a state of just trying so hard for people to see who I was. And so I guess I just wanted to, I guess, make a point of that
Mhm,
the longer you are playing that character that you say you're playing,
mhm.
the harder it's gonna be for you to actually be yourself online
Well,
because
that's
it
the
will make
thing. I think people have already seen a massive change in the content I put out. Because when I first came onto the scene, like, I was very abrasive, very, like, explicit, I didn't care what I said. Now granted, there
You've
were
been streaming a
truths.
month, correct?
Yes. There were there
so new
were
to it.
there were truths to some of the things I said, but it was very much so played up so I could get that initial response, which worked out. I mean, now I'm at 4,200 followers, I have 732 subscribers, and my viewership is going up every day. I got the check, like, I'm succeeding in what I'm doing, and I'm succeeding in my plan, and I just for me, everyone's like, "Oh, well, you've gotta do it this way, you've gotta do it this way." If it's meant to happen, it'll happen, and that's how I truly believe. I think the path that I'm on is a successful one. I know that this is what I'm meant to be doing, and whether or not people think I'm doing it correctly, that's their opinion. And
Do you know what
I
a self-fulfilling prophecy?
yes.
Do you ever worry that it's not so much that it's meant to be, but you are simply kind of shoehorning things this path regardless of what it's meant to be or not? And that while you are seeing some success numerically, that down the road it's going to cause more harm than benefits you get. Is that something about?
No, because I know for a fact in my heart it's not. I'm a very spiritual person. I what
Spiritual, are
all
you religious? Do you believe in God?
I grew up religious. Now I'm much more like energy, the universe, like I believe that I want to believe that Jesus or like God or whatever is an ascended master, but like in reality, like the only God is like the universe and all the energy and everyone's interconnected. And the reason I believe that so like strongly is because of the experiences that I've had ever since I've started my spiritual journey. I struggled growing up in like
When
my
when
early
when
adult
did you start? I'm sorry to interrupt. When did you start your spiritual journey?
I would say May,
Okay,
middle of
so
May.
6 months ish.
Yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
and my life has completely changed. Like, I used to suffer with, like, depression and suicidal thoughts and ideations and all of that, and ever since I actually just kind of let go, give in, and, like, do the things that I was being guided towards, I'm like, I'm genuinely happy, and I've never been happy, and I remember, like, times where I would cry and be like, "I just wanna be happy. I just wanna be happy. I just wanna be happy," and it's like, now that I have it, people can say, "Oh, well, it's not the universe or it's not this," but if it works for me, ultimately, that is all that matters. What matters is I'm happy, I'm thriving, I'm going to therapy, I'm getting the help I need, I feel better, and that's all that matters to me, so
Do you have at all have you I guess, have you at all imagined a world where streaming doesn't work out for you? And if so, where do you picture yourself?
Well, I'm a very intelligent woman. I have a lot of things I can fall back on, and that's the thing. People see how I behave, which I understand, and they think a certain type of way, like, "Oh, like, you're gonna not have a job, you're not go" I do things a certain way because I know that I've got things figured out off the internet, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been streaming since August, and I've leaked things, I've doxed things, and people are like, "Oh, you're gonna do this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen." Granted, they haven't happened yet, and they very well could, but I really believe that, even if it happens, it's meant to happen. But that being said, like, I still work a full-time job. I just got off of work not too long ago. I have many things I could do. And if there is ever a time where streaming doesn't work out for me, it's because it's not meant to at that time anymore. Right now, it's easy, it comes natural. I get confirmation, I get good feelings, I follow my intuition, and right now, this is what I'm meant to be doing. And I don't worry about the future because if you worry about the future too much, you can't enjoy what's in front of you. And I really
Yeah.
like to stay positive and stay in the moment and just be grateful and feel blessed for what I have.
I think that people often over worry about what's to come.
Mm.
And consider the lilies, how they neither toil nor do they sow, but yet are there anything more beautiful arrayed in Solomon's kingdom? That old yarn, that old
Mhm.
quote is there's a lot of truth to it. But I guess there's also the kind of opposite take, which is if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So where do you hope that the universe guides you in the future? Like, what what's your goal with all of this? Is it simply to be happy, or what do you want out of streaming? Would be a better way to ask.
What I want out of streaming is right now I do it because it feels right and I enjoy it. Like this is so I guess a symptom of BPD or whatever I have going on is like you give up, you start a lot of new hobbies and then you give up and like just do something else and you never stick with something. For me, streaming is the very first thing that I've ever stuck with
For a
consistently
month, right?
for a month.
For a month.
And for me, that is a big accomplishment compared to someone who like picks up a hobby every couple of days and stops. This is important because it's the first time where one, I feel valued and I don't base it off of other people. I base it off of me. I feel valued because I get to go online, entertain people and have like that outlet and I stick with it. It's showing that I can actually put in the effort and be consistent and stream every day. I don't know, it just
Do you
I
stream
think
every
every
day? Oof. Nice.
I just finished a 50-hour stream this weekend, I think.
50 hours
Yeah, and then
in a
I work
weekend.
yeah, I work 9 to 5. And
Dang.
so I go to work and then I come home and stream until midnight and then go to sleep around like 2 or 3. Then go to work get up for work at 7 and then go to work until like 5
Holy.
This
and then come back home and stream.
like, look, I'm not your dad, but this can't be healthy. Like, this
Yeah,
can't be
that
healthy. This
it's also oh,
this sounds
sorry,
like
go
a
ahead.
recipe for disaster.
For
Why do you say
burnout,
that?
stream burnout, where you're not gonna be able to
You know,
stream or make content.
Well,
Like I
I've vocalized that to my audience. If there's ever a time where I don't feel like it's spiritually fulfilling anymore, I feel like I'm doing it because I have to do it, I will stop.
So I'm just concerned, and obviously I say that with a grain of salt because we don't really know each other, so that's
yeah, we
take
don't
that
know you
lightly.
too, so yeah,
Yeah.
again, like, we're not here to.
I'm just concerned that you're conflating, you know, this. What did you say? The spirituality.
Mhm.
And it's fulfilling that spirituality. I'm
Mhm.
concerned that you're conflating spiritual fulfillment with just
Mhm.
dopamine you're getting from the rise of, stuff online.
That's
That's my first thought, I guess.
That's a valid question and an argument, but unfortunately, it could have been anything. Because, like, for example, I love horses. I wanted to work with horses for the longest time. I'm super fucking smart. I can do it. Like, my intelligence is insane when it comes to academics and my love for animals. Like, I've tried that, but stopped because
And
it
we had a
never
panel
worked
meeting.
out. And I've had huge highs while working with horses because I love horses. So if it was the dopamine, if it was the like chemicals in my brain, it would have ended already. 'Cause
Okay.
there's days where it's like, I get up and it's like, "I don't wanna stream, I don't wanna do this," like, but I gotta
Relatable.
do it. I gotta show up from the people who watch me, it's something I really wanna do, and, I
What would you describe your audience like as, like, what's your audience? Who is your audience? Tell us about the average Merc viewer.
average Merc enjoyer, retarded, not gonna lie,
Fair
that's
enough.
what they said. I think my chat is an extension of me, and if you watch me, like, religiously, you get a sense of who I am, and it's like, I allow a platform. Granted, some of the things they say is a little but I truly believe as long as it's not, like, outright hate speech, I believe in no censorship. I don't have any mods, really. The only reason I have 1 mod is because I like title changes and stuff. I don't have mods in my Discord, I don't have mods. I feel like if you allow people to make their own decisions, they're less likely to buck the rules that are in place because it's like, "Oh, you see a rule, let me break it," you know what I'm saying? So, like, I give them complete control, say what they want, and they're very supportive of me, they're supportive of each other, and it's like one of those situations where it's like, you could have a best friend and, like, you're extremely mean to each other, you troll each other, you say, like, terrible shit, but at the end of the day that there's a love there, and that's my chat. I honestly think I have the best chat around. I love my chat. And
Yeah?
they stuck by my side whenever, like, things it's just crazy. I love them.
Are you maybe worried, and I see this happen several times, because I've been streaming for a couple of years now, off and on, okay? I'm not huge by any means, but, I punch above my weight, in my opinion. Uh, you wonder or worry that some people are simply watching for your inevitable demise. They're just waiting for you to basically have a breakdown of some sort, and they're just gonna laugh at you. You worry about
Okay,
that?
here's the thing. No, I don't worry about it because if it happens, it's meant to happen. Like, it's just it's a lesson that you gotta learn from. But it's so funny how people have these, like, timelines for me, and it's their timelines for me, not my timelines for myself. They're like, "Oh, she isn't gonna last this amount of time. Oh, she's not gonna achieve this. She's not gonna achieve this." Every single timeline or every single, like, boundary that people have placed on me in the streaming world, I have passed. And it's always something new. So I'm never gonna please anybody. There's gonna be people who prey on my downfall no matter what. And I've really just learned to focus on the voices that do matter, and it's the people who literally watch me every single day, every single hour, even when I'm sleeping, they keep me company. It's those people that ultimately matter.
Hmm.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
What's your question?
Say say a couple of months pass and you're streaming, whatever. You take like a week break. This is all obviously
Mhm.
imaginary. and you come back and you stream for a week straight, but you only have 20 viewers. What do you do? How do you feel at that point?
I keep streaming because ultimately it's not, granted these are accolades that I can brag about and kind of like reinforce what I'm doing is right, but at the end of the day it doesn't make or break me, because there could be times where I have 2,000 viewers, there could be times where I have 20 viewers. I don't do it for the viewership. I do it to hang out, like literally, like I don't know, it's my escape.
What's your funnest hangout that you've done? Like, what's the most fun you've had streaming so far?
Definitely this weekend. I did my first like IRL thing, and like I went out and took myself to dinner and then went shopping and like just walked around, and I had a lot of fun. It was fun. It literally just felt like hanging out with people.
I don't know. Okay. Look, I'm gonna be real with you. Merc, I don't know the timelines. Like honestly, everything you're saying, it seems like a recipe for success to me, actually, and I'm being unironic when I say this. Like, this is the kind of shit that gets thousands and thousands of viewers. But the problem is it's not ever a good ending for the streamer, right?
Yep.
It like ruins their lives. And I wonder and I worry that maybe we aren't just manifesting ourselves into this kind of like downward inescapable spiral where we'll be captured by our audience, because our audience is incentivized to try to get us to do more and more and more extreme crazy shit, and it's gonna lead to, I don't know, but I'm genuinely concerned, and I'm not trolling you with this. I'm not trolling or anything like that. I'm being real with you. This talking to you and hearing you are different. Like, hearing you is one thing, but actually talking to you, I don't know.
Well, again, it goes down to like everybody else's perception of me, everybody else's issues, everybody else's emotions. Because for me, like something I've really been learning is to figure out if there's energy that I want to allow in my life, or if there's something that I want to allow to affect me. That is everyone else's problem.
What do
I
you
know
wanna
how I feel.
avoid energy-wise? Like, you keep saying energy, you choose the energy you want to affect you. What
Mhm.
energy do you not want to affect? Like, what are you, and what are you doing in order to keep that energy out?
So for me, I definitely, if we're talking about two different spheres, as in like streaming sphere wise or real life sphere, as far as streaming goes, there's not much I won't allow in, but I always like for example, if I'm doing something, I always do it with the intention of entertainment and like a positive spin on the intention. So it's like no matter what you're doing, if you're doing it with a good intention, you'll get good energy back. And so I always make sure that I'm doing things for the right reason. Before I start streaming, I always like pray and meditate a little bit. um, I feel like people just are so used to doing things without intention and without meaning that that's when the negative results arise. If you go into something with a positive mindset, a positive intention, the goal of entertaining and being a true entertainer, you can't go wrong. Because also too, if you go at everything from a positive like perspective, there's not much you can like do negatively. Like I treat everything as a lesson. I don't allow myself to get into a negative mindset. So even if say I do have a downfall, it was a lesson. I'm not scared of it because there's nothing to be scared about. If something bad happens in your life, it's meant to happen and it's meant to teach you a lesson and you're meant to move on from it. And people don't believe when I say this. I genuinely think like this.
I could think of a few scenarios where if something bad happened to me because of a choice I made, it would be hard for people to agree that it was meant to happen.
Hey, that's their opinion. It's their opinion, not yours. If other people think it's not meant to happen or it's not that reason, that's their problem. It's because I think about it. Other
Ooh,
people's
I
opinions
have a
don't
fun
matter.
question. Could
Okay.
you imagine a scenario where someone could do something incredibly horrible, but with the best intentions and the most well-meaning person? Where is that line for you? When does it become now, screw their intentions, this person has done X? Is there
So
a line for you with that?
no, because like if, for example, if you're saying like something really bad, like say someone shoots someone with a good intention, like, oh, I'm shooting this person because I need to protect myself or my loved ones. That is being done with good intention, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like if you have
But
to
what if
defend
I'm
yourself.
capturing people and putting them in my trunk and then burying them
Well,
alive, and I'm doing that to
you're
like
doing
30,
that.
40 people?
It's
You're
because
doing
they're
that
possessed by
evilly.
demons, okay?
No,
They're
no,
possessed by
you're not
demons,
doing
and
that.
we have to purge the demons, right?
No.
Why not? Like, if I really believe that, I really believe that the people, there are people
Well,
on
that
the
you
street
believe that. I don't
aren't
believe that.
people. They're wearing people's skin. They're wearing people suits, okay? And so,
That exists. Reptilians exist. I'm being gang stalked by the government.
yeah,
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry.
don't
That's my
apologize.
character. That's my character.
Okay.
But do you see the difference? Like, I'm able to have a normal fucking conversation, but I'm able to also,
Is this
like, you
normal?
know, this is a normal conversation for me. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Do you? I have a question. At least for me, and I'm probably projecting my own internal stuff from my past, but do you think that your character is at all a safer version of yourself, a less vulnerable version, or a more guarded version, or maybe it could be like a defense mechanism when you feel challenged? And that's not, and
no.
I'm not saying that to be like a dick or anything,
No,
obviously.
no. Yeah, you can't hurt my feelings. I don't take anything personal. No, honestly, if anything, it's done the exact opposite. Ever since I've started streaming, I've become more confident. I would say I'm more vulnerable. I'm more open with people, and that is something that is very important to me. As someone who is like a rape victim or a victim of abuse, like everyone talks about, like, oh, make it to where women can be comfortable coming out with it, but yet they don't do anything to make women comfortable. Sure, like, people share their stories, but I don't think there's anyone on the internet that is, like, as real, raw, and explicit as I am, because I will sit here and people can call it trauma dumping as long as it's a healthy conversation and it's producing, like, healthy results. I don't care. I'll sit here and tell you everything because I want. And it's crazy because the response I get after those kind of streams, I literally will cry. It's so heartwarming, but the point is, like, if there's a chance that one person is watching that has been through exactly what I've been through and they see me being open, they see me being honest, they see me sharing that and crying and being a normal emotional human, and that changes them and it makes them come out about that's one person that I've changed. That's one person that I've touched. That's one person that I've affected. And it's like when I have those streams, I get messages upon messages of, you don't know how much that meant to me. Like, I've been through the same thing, or I'm so glad you were open and honest. I'm glad that you were vulnerable. I'm glad that you did this because now I feel better. I feel this way. I feel this way. And granted, I don't want to rely too heavily on others' validation, but in situations like that, it feels good to see your openness and your vulnerability being rewarded.
Do you think that
What-
everyone can be as open as you? Do you worry sometimes that maybe your example of being very open with things, which is your right to be, is maybe encouraging people who can't handle it the same way you do to do the same?
Well, that's their responsibility to decide if they can do it like me or not. If they can't, then
Do
go
you
to
not think you
therapy.
have some responsibility on how you influence others?
Nope. Because adult humans are able to make their own decisions, and if they do something based off of what they watch on the internet, that's their problem, not mine.
So you can literally tell your audience anything. You can
No,
influence
I'm not
them
gonna
to
tell
do
them to go
anything.
kill someone. I'm not gonna go tell them to hang themselves.
But if you
Well,
did
that's her
and they
kind of,
did
you
it,
know,
it's
that's her
still they're
responsibility.
adults though, right? So it's
Yeah,
their
but
decision.
that's different. I'm not just gonna
Why?
willfully say, I'm not gonna just sit here and willfully say, "Oh, go shoot someone." Now, if someone shoots someone, like, for example, the whole PewDiePie situation, sub to PewDiePie, that was like, I'm talking about situations like that. PewDiePie should have not been chastised. He should have not had to deal with the repercussions because he never outrightly influenced anyone to go do it, like, something like that. That's what I'm talking about when I say it's the viewer's responsibility.
So why don't you tell people to go kill people in your chat? What's the thinking behind that? Why wouldn't you? What's stopping you there?
Because that's not nice. Why would anyone want to go do that? Why would anybody tell anyone to go kill someone?
Well, I'm just saying it sounds like you are sort of taking a little bit of responsibility then. Like there are things that you wouldn't say. Right?
When I
So,
say
I'm just
no, I think you're like, it's when I'm saying don't take responsibility, I'm saying if it's something that just happens because someone watches you. Now, if I tell someone to go kill someone, that is personal responsibility. When someone watches me and they do something thinking that it's okay or thinking like, oh, she would like this, that's their problem, not mine, because I've never explicitly said, yo, do this. You get what I'm saying?
I understand what you're trying to communicate. Yeah. I guess trying to figure out a way to ask this question. Okay. What is your, if you can imagine, what is your ideal outcome from your online presence? Like I'm talking this is the magical fairy world of the best outcome possible. What's the dream?
The dream? So I've got it already planned out. I've been manifesting it. So far, it's been going extremely well according to plan. My ultimate goal is to be married and have somewhat of a successful career, whether it's I want to start a podcast. I would love to do a podcast. I already have the name for it. I already know what I would be doing. It's not ready yet. That thing's not ready. It'll happen when it's meant to happen. But yeah, podcast maybe, some sponsorships from like certain dispensaries. I think that would be cool. And just be married and have a family and be happy.
Okay. I mean,
I feel like you guys are searching for things to hate me for.
no, I don't hate
No,
you at
I'm not at
all.
all.
Like I don't.
No.
I'm just. It's a different side of things than I normally do. Like I am normally my audience, right? We talked about your audience, my audience, very different side of the internet, I think. So I too am a believer in free speech. I applaud that about you. One of the things I like about you, what little I know about you, at least. However, having no mods is a lot, and also having your goal, if your dream is marriage and a family, I don't know if it's exactly healthy to have a family and to be a live like a 50-hour a weekend streamer. I don't
Well,
know.
obviously, there's going to be changes. I'm not going to be streaming like that all the time. I will definitely have a schedule.
Will you stop streaming once you get married?
I don't know. Maybe I will. I don't have the finite details. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Whatever happens, happens. But I planned it. All I've planned out is I know who I'm going to date while I'm streaming. I know who I'm going to practice what I've learned.
Who you're going to do? Do they know it yet? Have
They
you told them?
I think, okay, so I don't know if you guys believe, okay, we're getting into the gobbledygook, but this is how I truly believe. I don't know if you guys know about like twin flame versus like soulmate and stuff like that. I believe in all of that, right? Because I've seen it firsthand. Whether
Okay,
it's
I know what a
coincidence, like
soulmate is. What's a twin flame?
So a twin flame is like your mirror. It's supposed to mirror like the insecurities in you, and it's really when you are like meant to do most of your like soul searching and like dark night of the soul and like inner child healing. And my ex-boyfriend was my twin flame. He brought all that out in me. He broke me to I couldn't be broken anymore. I was destroyed. I was at the lowest I ever was. And that only left up. So that's when I started doing my therapy.
Is it irrelevant that you're going to be dating?
Ew, no.
No? Why not?
He's a good-looking dude.
Not to me.
Look, okay.
What you want me to be? Okay, you want. This is the thing. People ask questions
Ouch.
and then they get an honest answer and they don't like the truth. If you don't want to hear the truth, don't ask the question.
I'm not saying that I don't want to hear this. I am just expressing a little shock.
So you would fuck him? Is what I'm hearing?
I don't fuck dudes, but that's okay.
Oh, based.
Not my style. It's cool if you like it, right? But no, not my thing. But I think that you could do way worse. What about Darius then? We've talked about I'm gonna go
that man. That man is actually like I'm scared. Like I get weird feelings when I'm around him. Like he just ruined a bunch of
trust your
exactly. And he ruined a bunch of shit between me and Destiny. He called Destiny. He was like, "Yo, like RJ unfriended you because she was uncomfortable with some things you said." And then I found out about it while I was streaming, so I had to go call Darius. He's like, "Yeah, I said it." It's like, we don't even talk. When did I ever say that? So Destiny thought all this shit, and now our friendship's ruined because of Darius, and like, it's a bunch of drama. But no, he is not my type. That is the answer. You.
But now I'm very curious. Other than XQC, or is it XQC? Are your sights that high or low, as some might say?
I will not wait. This is gonna sound crazy. Let's just say yes. I'm attracted to him.
Everything you said, this is gonna sound crazy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm manifesting it. We will date, and we're gonna be temporary daters. We're gonna be like a casual relationship until my soulmate comes in. I just am really looking for someone to like help me entertain, to practice what I've learned in therapy and like all my stuff I've been doing. And I feel like a relationship like that is good. So we don't have to commit to each other. We don't have to like be serious. We could date, have our fun. And then when my soulmate chooses to come back or come into my life, then there you go. Unless he is my soulmate, but we don't know, do we? I guess we got to go date first.
We may not ever know the future for certain, but there are some probabilities that we can work under. So I am going to go. If I had $100 to bet right now, it would be that you and XQC are not soulmates. But that's okay because Most people aren't. I think it's a pretty safe bet. I could be wrong. I don't think I
Yeah,
am.
but there's also multiple lifetimes. So while his soul, his spirit is XQC, in this lifetime we may not end up together, but in the next lifetime we might. Because you're just a body. You're just a vessel for what's inside of you, your spirit, your soul, all of that. And we are in the same soul pod for a reason. So
Soul pod.
yeah, so when you incarnate on this earth, like you're born with people from the same like soul pod, and it's like people who are meant to teach you a lesson, people who are meant to come into your lives and just do certain things. It's a whole deep thing, and it brings a lot of closure and a lot of comfort, and I think positive growth as a person reading into it and actually believing it and practicing it.
Would
I
you
mean,
say you
sorry.
have
Bruh.
do you feel in control of your life? Like, do you feel
Yeah.
in control of your destiny? Do you feel because I
Yes.
heard you say before that you have OCD, so do I,
Mhm.
and that you kind of like do certain things to feel more in control of your life, or that's what your therapist said. And it's just I just wonder if you truly do feel in control of your life, because I'm kind of seeing a pattern of different reasons why you aren't taking action or taking responsibility or planning for your future or planning for the worst case scenario or so
And
I
these are your thoughts, right? For me. These are your thoughts for me, right? Just to
yeah,
confirm
and
things.
I just want you to know I'm not here to attack you or pick you
Mhm.
apart. Like, the reason
No,
I'm
I'm
so
not.
interested is because I really do have a very similar story to you, down to
Mhm.
like the traumas and everything. Like, I have a crazy ass story and a very similar sort of the vibe you have in the audience and everything. That used to be the communities. I have been streaming since like for like what, 11, 12 years. So I'm talking a long time ago for me, but that's why I'm so interested. So I just want you to know what
Not
my
to
intentions here.
not to interrupt, and I'm sorry to do this, but a little housekeeping in order. Gang, if you're in my chat and you're saying, "Oh, I want to propose to her," put up or shut up. The only proposals I'll accept is if you're willing to come live on stream, turn on your camera, and pose to her face. Okay, otherwise, cut that shit out. But go on.
Amen. I think, yes, I feel in total control of my life because you can go against your life path. You can go against your destiny, but it's not going to be easy and you won't be happy. That's why I've just chose to surrender and follow the signs, follow what feels right, because like intuition is a very real thing. I think people forget that they're born with an inherent intuition, and like social media, technology, it all deadens that. You're literally connected to the earth, and like the more like you fall into like capitalism and technology and all that, you lose that natural sense within yourself. And luckily for me, like I'm able to use my discernment and practice and figure out what's real, what's like delusions, and that's what's really important. You have to have that discernment, because if you don't have discernment, you'll think every single thing is a sign. Like, oh, I saw this today, that's a sign. That's not how it works, because it does take a sense of personal responsibility to have discernment and figure out what's real and what's not.
Have you ever been wrong?
Yeah.
What's the worst you've been wrong on this discernment thing? Like where you've fucked up the signs and you discerned incorrectly.
I think with my ex-boyfriend, I he was a big trigger for me. I think a lot of the times I asked the universe for a sign to keep me in the relationship, when in reality they were trying to get me out of the relationship.
And what were some of those
So,
signs that we can look at in retrospect and say, "Oh,
so
absolutely."
I don't like to share like what I have like the things I have conversations with the spirit or whatever. But I will say it was a lot of things like certain numbers, certain literature, certain images I would ask, and like I don't know, I would get a message, but like try and fit it to the outcome I want. A lot of people forget that sometimes you may be getting the message you want to hear, but it's not exactly how you want it. And people always ask for things, but yet they don't realize that they may not always get it right then and there, but when they're meant to have it.
Maybe. I don't want this to feel like I look, I have to apologize. This is much more grilling than I wanted to do. I wanted
No,
to
I
have a
enjoy it. I
conversation.
loved clearly you guys can tell I love talking about myself.
No, look, I get it. I think we are all as streamers just a little vain,
Yeah.
and that's okay. That's okay to be. Um, I guess I'm just like I've met people who are similar to you, but I don't think I've met anyone at least as willing to just be honest with their thoughts. Very mask off, if that makes I
Thing.
appreciate that.
I have spent my entire life trying to hide that, trying to hide who I am, being ashamed of who I am. I feel like owning every single thing. Now, granted, there are things that I keep off of the internet, but my rule of thumb is if I personally put it on the internet, it is folly for conversation. People are allowed to talk about it. That's what the internet is. If you put something on the internet, expect people to comment.
Sure.
But I have strict boundaries with certain things that I do not bring on the internet. And if it's brought up, I will ignore questions. I will not answer those questions because it's offline and I am a different person. It's like when you go to work, you have your work friends, you have your work conversations, and when you go home, you clock out, that's it, work's done. That's what it is. And even though streaming isn't work for me, I treat it like a job so I can keep my boundaries in place, so I can take care of myself and make sure I'm safe.
But when you have 50 hours of a weekend stream and
Yeah.
you're streaming for that whole 50 hours, like, do you understand how those lines might become blurred, especially if you do this over a long enough time? If you consistently every day for hours a day do this, that maybe your work life and your personal life might be harder and harder for you to tell the difference. We talk about signs sometimes, right? You're a big believer in discernment and signs. Do you ever think the universe speaks through other people?
Oh, for sure. For
Do you
fucking
think,
like 100%.
and ride
I
with
know
me
where
on
this is
this.
going.
Ride with me on this. Is it possible that I today am the
No.
vessel for the universe? Not at all.
No.
No,
No, because
None
the people who have affected my life don't present themselves like this. And
like
I
this.
also
What do you mean
use
by what do
energetic
you
down.
mean by like this? What do you
The
go?
fact that you're saying this is like, oh, you're wanting to paint that picture. I would get an energetic download, which means whenever I get a message, I get like shivers, and I also get I don't like talking about this because people don't believe it, but I'm not psychic, but definitely like one of the Claire chairs is what I call it. There's clairvoyance, there's clairvoyant, clairaudience, clairsentience. There's different types of clairs. And I dabble in the clairs. So I'm able to actually tell. And like the more you practice your spirituality, the more you actually do this, the easier it gets. It's like riding a bike.
Rora, and what about you? Like someone's else. Like, look, I've already been. Am I at least the voice of the universe for you today, Rora? Come on, I want to be the voice for something. Shit, maybe the voice for sanity. I don't know.
I mean, this happened. I'm not saying this didn't happen for a reason. This happened for a reason, but you're not like a prophet or a messenger or anything like that. This is literally just to be able to kind of bring my attention to maybe things that I'm lacking or things that I have been achieving and draw attention, because I tend to forget about stopping and smelling the roses and realizing how much I have achieved and how far I have come from where I used to be. So this is an opportunity to do that. So thank you.
Do you ever discuss your spirituality and like these beliefs with your therapist? I've never heard you comment on it, so I was curious.
I do.
And what do they say?
Well, I go to a holistic therapist. So it's someone that sees all sorts of different people who come from different religious backgrounds. Like she does everything. And let's just say, like, I am not at a risk for anything like schizophrenia, paranoia, delusions, anything like that. So it's definitely, I don't know. I feel like this goes back to it's other people's problem. Like people always try to find a logical reason for the way people act, for the way people believe. Sometimes it literally is just spiritual. Why did when certain people go to church, they get the sudden urge to dance or they start crying and like a sudden emotion? We are spiritual beings. We're not just humans. We're not just, meat sack robots or whatever. Like we're spiritual people. We're created from stardust.
Streaming is a new church. Like church
I wouldn't
attendance
say
is down.
that.
We are
I wouldn't
preachers.
say
We are
that.
at the altar. We are giving a sermon. The audience is watching us. The audience gives us money. The audience reacts to us. The audience can experience large amounts of joy, passion, hate, anger, etc. all in what we do. We are building the new scriptures as we speak.
I feel like that's a little
serious
blasphemous, and
take.
you should probably not say that.
Where's the lie? Why is that wrong?
Because you're comparing yourself to something holy when in reality you're just a streamer.
Do you not think we can be holy?
I mean, yeah, but we're not. We have no to compare us to like
You got a mouse in your
scripture
pocket? Why do you
and
keep saying we? Right? I don't think you're familiar with my content, are you?
no, I'm just saying like my personal beliefs are you should probably not compare yourself to anyone like holy like that, saying, "Oh, this is the new church," because that is blasphemy and it's not okay.
Unless it's true.
Yeah, it could be. It very well could be true. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine.
That's true. Also, I just I think that it hits all the same notes in a lot of ways. And I'm being serious with you right now. I think it hits all the same notes. I grew up religious, right? I
Mhm.
grew up Mormon, actually. I went on the mission.
You wear the
and
underwear? Do
everything.
you have the Mormon underwear?
We don't talk about that, right? But no,
You
it's
do.
it's one of those things. I'm no longer practicing. I have questions and they have not been resolved, and so here we are. But I've seen a lot of the same behaviors in political spaces that I saw growing up in the church. I see a lot of the same behaviors in individual people, and I met a lot of people going door to door for 2 years in New Jersey, for example, that had all sorts of opinions, all sorts of ways of thinking life and like that. So when I say I've talked to people like you before, I mean it. And while I don't know if you actually have these abilities, the spidey sense, is whatever you want to call it. I don't mean to be denigrating of it. That's not my intent here. I I I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of people who want something to be true so much that they'll trick themselves into believing it is. So I don't know. I worry.
Well, then it doesn't matter. It's like the whole fake it until you make it. If even if you pretend that you're happy, doesn't matter because ultimately I feel happy. So who cares? It's all the same end result to be happy. Whether you're genuinely happy or you believe you're happy, it doesn't matter.
I disagree. I think that there's reality. You can only pretend it away so long, right? There's only so long that you can run from what actually is. And I see this happen in politics all the time. Like, it will catch up to you eventually. The bill will one day come due. And you've paid it off on credit for now. You're happy. You're living the little life. You're turning a blind eye to what's coming. But eventually, the collector comes and knocks on your door. And you better have your money or it's going to be a problem. So I worry like this idea that, oh, I'm happy now, eat, drink, and marry and be merry type of deal. But the floods are coming, and I don't know.
Who says though? That's your See, my thing, like, I don't get triggered about anything else. What triggers me the most is when someone finds something that has made them happy, has given them purpose, nothing but positive things to say about the experience. And then these people come in and always have, well, what about this? What about this? What if this happens? This is going to happen. Always negative. And it's always one sided because any of my friends that stream, if they've ever achieved anything, I congratulate them and I lift them up. If any of my friends are going through something, I lift them up. I'm always a very positive person with other people in the same sphere as me. So I can't fathom or understand why people are always like, well, this is going to happen. You're so negative for what? And even if it does happen, what does it have to do with you?
Nobody's trying to take anything away from you.
No one said that.
I guess I'm speaking, I'm the opposite of both of you. I literally never was raised in any church. I am not spiritual at all. But I have a question. Ooh, how long have you been online really quickly before I continue?
So I grew up
Like in like this kind of space, not like on Instagram, not on a social media, but
so
like
for streaming,
not a normie. How long have you been not a normie?
uh, maybe since August 7th.
Okay.
But like and it's just for streaming. I was always in Discord. Like I've been using Discord since 2015, 2014. I would always go in VCs, always talk to people. And I've always been pretty edgy with my content because like I find that shit funny. That's how I grew up. Call of Duty lobbies. Like I am a true believer in saying
I used to be in Counter-Strike source lobbies and Ventrilo. I know all about it. I guess I'm just speaking from the position of, and I'm going to sound like an old crotchety lady, but the ball is dropped for me. And I am now in a position where since turning 30, I'm very much picking up the pieces and figuring it out. And you and I are a lot alike, down to the smoking weed every day. And like now I'm at a point where I'm desperately trying to quit because it's negatively affected my executive function and stuff. I'm just saying that, just let me finish. I'm just saying that I, not in the spiritual way, but found a lot of ways to just go with the flow in life and ride every high that was handed to me. And it was like waves, but eventually the waves get smaller and smaller and the water will still. And then I was left with, as Whick said, the bill collector came. And now I am in a position where I very much regret a lot of the actions I've had. And I've heard you say before you have regretted some things. I'm not going to bring up what you
What
said
have I
you've
regretted? No, you can bring it up.
well, that's a very sensitive topic. I'm not trying to trigger you or anything,
Oh,
but
you won't trigger me.
said
Go
you
ahead, bring it up.
regretted. You were emotional, and you said you regretted self-harming in the emotional state you were
Oh
in at
yeah.
the time to
Yeah,
lead you to that.
I regret cutting myself because at the time I was dealing with mental illness and I didn't have a supportive foundation. I didn't have the tools I needed to cope with what I was feeling and I was abandoned by my family. So yes,
Same.
I regret
Same.
it but now I have positive coping skills. I have techniques and methods and I have faith in something. I think everyone needs faith in something because it gives you like it gives you a reason to, I don't know, better yourself every day. Even if it's Buddhism, fucking Islam, whatever it may be, religion, fucking just trust yourself, worship yourself. Whatever it is, whatever works for you, do it. Because a lot of people have nothing to live for and it shows. It definitely fucking manifests.
Yeah, I very much relate to you. You're kind of like, at least from the reactions I'm seeing, where if someone at all critiques your version of current happiness, it's almost like I finally get something that makes me fucking happy, and people are shitting on this. And I relate to that feeling because I used to feel that a lot. But
Mhm.
I guess my concern is that there's blinders on and you're not seeing outside of those blinders and the person that you might
Sorry.
blossom into or become down the road. And if time changes a lot, and the older you get, the faster time goes. And in a blink of an eye, you're going to be my age, and your brain is going to be different, and you're going to be thinking differently. So all
Let
I'm
me
saying is,
interject really quickly before I
I'm very much
forget.
noticing that you're kind of living in the now and
Hold on,
not really looking outside of that. So that's it.
I have ADHD, sorry. If I get a thought,
So do
I will forget
I'm on
it.
medication for it.
So the thing is, I will say ever since I've started like spiritual alignment and doing all these things, time has slowed down exponentially. So for you saying that time is speed, like the older you get, it's actually quite opposite. Ever since I went down this path, time literally it feels
I'm
slow.
concerned with you taking off the headphones that anytime you're challenged outside of this current world you live in, that you just want to kind of divert away from it.
I agreed to come on here today, didn't I? I knew it wasn't
Yeah,
gonna be easy
that's the
because
initial intention, but
he put mentally ill in the title. If I wanted to leave, I could leave right
what?
now.
You did?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah,
I
so I mean,
Look,
if you're
my titles
saying
are clickbait, to be clear, right?
okay, so
It's
yeah,
just
but
to get
still,
people to
if
click
you
on
wanna
it.
use that as an argument that, "Oh, anytime you get triggered or upset, you take your headphones off." No, 'cause I was triggered by the title, but it's that's your opinion
I
of
also
me.
noticed that you've kind of went into character when you were challenged, and I heard you talking to Destiny, and he challenged you pretty well, and you started screaming a word, and I'm not gonna repeat the word, but
Faggot?
nope, not that word.
Well, let's
Tranny?
not play. Okay, let's
I'm
not play guess the
bisexual, so
word.
I don't like that word.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh
Okay,
my
Soyato
goodness.
wants to come
Please
and
don't.
propose to you right now. Is that okay?
Wait, what?
Soyato wants to come and propose to you. Is that okay?
Somebody wants to?
Soyato.
Sure, why not?
Sure,
Is this
okay,
now a
Soyato.
speed date? Are we speed dating now?
No, it's not a date. That's weird. No, but it's a proposal. Go ahead, Soyato. You have about 2 minutes. Go ahead. Give it to us.
Okay. Wait. Hold. Reset the countdown, please. There we go. I got the stream muted. I'm gonna put my camera on. Hi. How's it going? 2 minutes.
What's up?
Hey. So really, this is a business proposal, and I have over hours experience backstage in professional, subcontractor jobs. So I do have stream set up, as you can see.
Mhm.
I've got nice.
What the fuck is going on?
This is my okay, so this is my monitor, my multi-view connected to ATEM extreme ISO. I've got the the behind me I've got Discord, so I can kind of see what's going on. I got a little rushed, so but
Dude lives
basically
in Micro Center, Jesus.
We have a very similar setup. I have multicam like that. I just don't have the nice cameras like you.
Don't interrupt him while he's going though. He's only got a minute left.
So yeah, a minute left. So basically, there's a few red flags. I'll be honest. There are some red flags here, but I think you deserve to succeed, and I think I'm the kind of person that you're looking for who can help you succeed. So you're looking for someone who has some professional experience, someone who understands media, understands how to put yourself out there socially, how to produce a quality show, and I have in studio experience doing that. So this is sort of whether or not it's
Okay,
us.
what do you get out of this? Okay, so you've offered it to
I'm
her. What are you
so
expecting?
confused.
What do I get out of this? I mean, I've got everything I need, Wick. Don't you know? Okay, I'll be honest. My girlfriend wants to have kids, and I got fixed. So, Merc, do you and my girlfriend maybe want to work something out and, you know, have kids?
Are you asking me to impregnate your girlfriend?
No. She'll impregnate you. I assume you're cis, right?
Wait, what? Is your girlfriend not actually a girl?
Well, she's trans.
Oh, no thanks. Sorry. It's not
Oh,
my
okay.
type. Not my
All
type.
right. No, well, hey, what? But okay, she's not your type. But consider not me, someone like me.
What's
Okay,
the question
well,
here? I'm so what?
𝕾𝖍𝖎𝖙, thank you for coming on. I
All right.
appreciate the attempt.
I'm so confused.
That was an
What?
experience. That was a ride. Was that meant to
Oh,
happen?
I feel like you guys baited me, and guess
What
what?
do you
I'm
mean
not gonna
baited?
fold. I'm not gonna fold. That is not my shit. Sorry. Everyone is allowed to have preferences. I may not be someone's preference, but that is not
That's
my
fine.
preference.
No one here is gonna yell at you for that. That's not what you want. That's not what you want. I don't. Like I said, I have no idea. He just was complaining in my chat about wanting to propose some things. So I was like, make some content. Why not? Bring him on. Propose a few things. We'll see what happens. Didn't go in the direction I expected, but here we are. That's that yeah, okay. Hold on. Reset. Okay, get the energy back. I got back on track. Get a little more into what we were doing. Does that happen a lot with you? Like, do you ever do call-in streams or anything?
I had an e-date the other night. That shit was
An e-date. What?
So it's like whenever it's like The Bachelorette. You have people come in and vie for your love, and it's always a good time. It's always a good time. What? What? It's hilarious. Because guess what? None of them are gonna get me. None of them no. And they still try, and it's entertainment. Like you said, it's content, so why not?
True enough. It's one of those things that I can't do that kind of content for obvious. Like, I wouldn't get the same kind of play. Let's say
Probably. Let's be honest. Yeah, probably.
But it's always interesting to me when I see it happen. Because you're right. It's one of those things where it is kind of it has game show vibes, and that's fine. I guess so you mentioned the types of content you do. You did an e-date content, you've done live streaming. What other kinds of content? Like, what describe the average Merc stream to us, please?
The average Merc stream, I start the stream, I get high, we talk for a little bit, then I may do like some reacting, watch some stuff together, maybe do some IRL content, then like come back and just hang out, play some video games, maybe some Overwatch or Valorant or Fortnite. And then yeah, just talk some more, smoke some weed, watch some music. My music streams are like a favorite. Because I'll just play like a bunch of old like nostalgic music and we just hang out and it's literally just like
old nostalgic movement, like what?
Like 2000s, like old R&B, old rock.
God, I'm so fucking old.
Yeah. Okay. Now this is some ageism right here. I don't know if we can allow this on the app. That's fine.
I thought you like free speech, Wick.
I'm memeing. It's a joke. I don't know. Like,
He's
I don't know.
memeing.
I look, at the end of the day, there are certain types of content I'm good at and certain types of content I'm not. I'm not a very funny guy. I'll cop to that. I'll admit to that. I'm not a joker. I'm not a comedian type of deal. But I do like to have interesting conversations. And so far this has been at least somewhat interesting. Do you I'm curious more about the energies stuff. What are some, and I know you don't like to talk about the specifics, so please, you don't have to go into specifics here, but what are some examples of bad vibes that you've had on different streams? Like, if
Definitely Darius. I'm telling like 100% like
Darius.
Darius.
Other than Darius, because Darius, okay, we get it, we understand. I think even us normies can understand that one. But other than Darius, right?
So I think the whole XQC stream was I got a lot of bad like a lot of people say that was my worst appearance, and it's true. It's 100% true. It was cringy. I was doing too much. Like, I agree, but let me tell you why. Like, I did it. Okay, so I didn't know that XQC was in call with Destiny until somebody in my chat told me. And like, me and Destiny are friends, so I was like, I wanted to meet XQC and talk to him and just like actually pick his brains, but like, I didn't feel like it was right. So it was like this like catch-22 is like, okay, I go in here, but it's not the way I want it to happen, or I don't go in here and I miss my chance of ever talking to him. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that was a test for me to like kind of do it the way I know that it needs to be done, or just go in there and just like, fuck it up. And that's what happened.
This is interesting to me simply because a lot of people in my Discord were like, "Oh, Wick, you need to hop on Destiny's stream right now. XQC is on." And I had no idea. I wasn't watching it. It was a day I wasn't streaming. I was like, why would I hop into this? And so it's just a different path taken. And what, like, I don't know if I would consider that a bad appearance of yours. Why do you say it's a bad appearance? Why aren't you happy with it, please?
Because for one, I joined in whenever they were in the middle of a debate. I didn't want to have a debate. I wanted to just ask questions and actually like talk as humans. Two, I was greened out of my mind, and that definitely affected me. And and I didn't realize it until I was able to actually go back and watch the VOD. And like, I try to be the type of person that's like, okay, I can admit when I did something cringy. And that was something that the energy didn't feel right. It didn't feel right the whole time I was sitting in there. Like, I felt like I shouldn't be here. And if I get a chance to talk to him again, it'll go completely different. But it was not, I don't think that I was meant to take that opportunity. I think that I was being tested. I genuinely do. Because I have a big problem with
tested, and you think you failed.
Yes, because something I've been communicating with the universe lately is to teach me patience and kindness and like just waiting and, not always jumping at the first opportunity. And I feel like that's what that was, because granted, it was something I really, really, really wanted, but when it was at the time that it was meant to happen. And I think how it ended and how I felt about it showed that it wasn't the right time, even though that opportunity had presented itself. There may be down the line an opportunity where it was going to be a one-on-one conversation, but I don't know, because like, I didn't listen to my gut. I didn't listen to my intuition, and my intuition and my gut told me, do not go in there. And I did. Because I was scared.
I think fear is an interesting thing, because it's one of the experiences I've had in the online space is unfortunately, I've said this live on stream before, it has really impacted my ability to trust other people. One of the things that I see all the time happen, people come into the space, they're genuine, and then people take advantage of that. It happened to me. It's happened to others. It will happen again, right? So I guess, like, when it comes to your intuition, and maybe this is just a me problem, my intuition for real life interactions works pretty well, but when it comes to online interactions, I have realized that I just don't have it. I don't have that discernment. I cannot tell in a large in most cases, people I would have swore were my actual friends or did not end up being my friends. You said it's happened to you. Can you tell us about that a little bit?
I want to discuss this in the most plain and objective way. I'm not saying this to ensue drama or anything like that. I'm just being matter of fact when I talk about this. There is a streamer, 𝕵𝖎𝖙. He was one of the only streamers that had my number at first. Because like me, that's where I draw. That's my
𝕵𝖎𝖙.
𝕵𝖎𝖙. That's where I draw the line, is like text messages. Like, if you text me and you have my number, you have left the boundary of online, because you can contact people through Discord. You can contact people through Instagram, especially if you're networking.
Your number online though? Like, haven't you shown that on stream?
Oh yeah, I doxed myself. I doxed my number, but I told Vic, I said, look, this is how I view text messages. I want you to respect that. And he didn't. And I made the decision to set that boundary, keep that boundary, and keep myself safe. And I ended contact with him because he did something that I explicitly asked him not to. And then not only that, after we were having a conversation about it, I asked him to not be streaming the conversation, and he lied to me I go to his stream, and he's streaming the entire conversation of me talking to him on the phone. So not only do you do it the one time, you do it twice. You have no remorse and don't deserve to be in my life. I thank him for the platform he gave me. I was very appreciative of it, but after that, there's nothing. And people are like, "Oh, well, he made you." People can give you a platform. People can give you an opportunity, but what matters is what you do with that. The things I'm doing now, the success I am personally getting, I don't owe that to anybody. Sure, people have given me a platform. Sure, people have given me, introductions and stuff, but you could give that to someone and then they could not have any viewers at all because they're not putting in the work, they're not interesting, they're not entertaining. It's what you do with it. But that doesn't mean I'm ungrateful, because no matter what, the thing I strive to be the most is grateful. Because when you're grateful, more blessings can come in.
Let me speaking of gratitude, brief intermission, let me read some super chats that we've been getting. Give me a second. From Parallax for $5. I would have just proposed marriage to Rora instead of this weird business shit. Rora and I could have been the real deal.
Oh,
That
okay,
happened.
okay. I'll consider it.
$2 from Teddy OG, Despacito. I don't know what that means, but fair enough.
Oh my god.
$2 for Fondue. Well, here comes the Google Death Squads. Okay.
What does that mean?
You know what? I don't know. They gave me $2. I said it out loud. That's all we got on that side for now. Gang, if you like this content, just give me more money. This is why I do it. It's for your money. I want to take your money from you.
Honesty.
But that's how it is. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, yeah.
Weed is not a drug. Weed is literally a fucking plant.
What do you think drugs are?
It's a drug, but it's not a drug. It's a fucking plant. A drug is anything made by a pharmaceutical company.
I don't know if that's, but fair enough. If that's what you believe, that's what you believe.
Is weed made in a fucking lab?
Look, what do you think penicillin is?
That's an antibiotic. That's a fungus.
Yeah, but it's a drug.
It's still a drug.
Right?
Yeah, but it's a natural drug. It's a fungus.
So
I'm talking about like fucking Adderall and heroin. Like that shit's drugs. To me, that's drugs. Weed is not a drug to me. I know it has effects of a drug. Like I get what you're saying. Like yes, it is a drug, but to me, it's not like a drug. A drug.
Have you ever done psychedelics?
I want to. I want to so bad. But
okay,
I think I have a little bit.
Yeah.
I need shrooms.
I've never done psychedelics on purpose. I was at TwitchCon last year.
Ooh, I'm
and
going this
there
year. I'm
was
excited.
shrooms there. I'm not sure how it was introduced to me, whether someone dropped it in a drink or whether I ate something that looked yummy that I probably shouldn't have eaten. But I went on a small trip. It was my first time. It was odd. I will just say this on the theme of gratitude. I'm glad that there were people there that I trusted that made sure that I got through it okay. But it was a very much perspective changer. A lot of. So I was just curious if maybe some of the things that you think or believe were a product of a life-changing experience like that, such as a lot of psychedelics and no cause, but apparently not. So $5 for Parallax again. This wasn't a no. Roralax 2023. Okay, maybe DM her and you guys can take care of that off screen. Rora, I want to talk to you for a moment, if I may.
Good.
Because we've been talking about betrayals a little, right? We've been talking about people not to be trusted. How's your experience in that? Do you mind sharing some of your stories? Because I know you got a few.
So I mentioned that I was married to like a famous troll back in the days, like a famous 4chan troll. I'm not going to get into who because I don't want to stir up his fan club, but I got really close with a lot of people in that community, and I was new to the realm like you are now. And it was super fun and exciting. And like you said, like, it's fun. It's kind of fun when like you're kind of like almost bantering and like a little bit like verbally abusive with your chat. Like it's fun, right? You get the back and forth going and all that. And now obviously your experience is and will be different than mine because, you know, we're different humans on different paths. But my husband and I didn't work out. He was very emotionally abusive. I became mutually abusive, made a lot of mistakes. He fell ill with cancer while we were together. I tried to stay with him. I ended up on the brink of literally deleting myself. I left the relationship. He passed away. And as soon as he passed away, there was a narrative spun about me because he was a narcissistic guy. And everyone in that circle turned on me. And I'm talking, if you want an example, they went on, this is back when Facebook was super popular. They went on there and they found every single person I work with, all of my friends, all of my family, and they took a picture they had found of me topless bending over, sucking on a rubber dildong, and they made it the profile picture and they added everyone that I knew. And I was at work and got called into the manager's office and they showed it to me. And so, honestly, though, I was like,
Sorry, I
damn,
thought
the
it was
lengths.
funny.
No, I mean, I literally did too, because I'm like you, like I have that sense of humor where I can laugh at myself and I laugh at things that are like that because it's, I don't know. I appreciate the effort, okay? All I'm saying is there have been a lot of instances where people very close to me have turned on me, and especially in the streaming world too, like Whick is saying, you never know what someone's intentions are. And that's also why like someone bigger like XQC would probably be pretty apprehensive wanting to get to know a smaller content creator, right? Like, so all I'm saying is I've been in a lot of places on the internet in my day, and it's the trauma doesn't really happen until you're already being betrayed by someone. And I saw your reaction to Vic, and how that sort of played out. And you seemed pretty distraught that he shared those personal texts.
Yeah.
And considering
Here's the
you've not
thing.
really been active for a long time in the space, I assume you trusted him quick enough to give your number out. And
I mean, it wasn't the fact that I gave it to him. It was the fact that, and the messages weren't even bad. It's the principle behind it. I asked you not to share. I made that clear boundary, because that's another thing I'm working on: setting clear boundaries and not backing up no matter what. If you're genuinely doing something wrong and people want you to like reel it in, like I get that, but this is my boundary that I set. It is not unrealistic. It is a very clear, respectable boundary, and he crossed it. It doesn't matter if the text messages were sensitive or not. I made that boundary and I keep it.
Oh yeah, and you should stick to your boundaries. Do you have any do you have good real life connections? Like I know your family situation because you spoke on that. Do you have friends? Do you have coworkers you hang out with? Do you have people like you like spending time with in the real world?
I would say that since I started streaming, definitely my need to leave the house has definitely like gone down. But before I started streaming, like I would go out and drink and do all that and like try and make friends, but it never worked out because it was very surface level.
Yeah.
So I think that now in my real life, I do a lot more of trying to teach myself that it's okay to be alone, because there's people all over the world who have nobody. And while I am alone, I'm not alone because I'm guided, I'm blessed, I'm protected, I'm, all of these things. I have the universe, I have whoever's listening taking care of me, so I'm not alone. And I think Winnie, my ex, leaving me, like he used to always say like, oh, I'm never going to leave you. And I was like, you're the only person I have. And I think losing him showed me that it's okay not to have anybody, because eventually someone will come into your life that appreciates who you are, loves who you are, and is there for you no matter what. And in some sappy, cheesy way, on a different kind of level, the internet is that for me. I used to be one of the people that are like, oh, online friends are weird, all that shit's weird, like get a real job. I used to be like that. But I will tell you that I've had more memorable experiences on the internet and like more meaningful connections than in my real life.
So you connect
And
easier with people online, like it feels easier for you? I relate to that. Yeah, I understand.
And it's I don't know, it's just, I know that there are some people you can't trust, and I think I have gone from a point of not trusting at all to trusting way too much, and now I'm slowly working towards that median of really assessing people, following your gut, following the signs, like all of that, to learn to give a little bit, but to not give too much, and just be in that like sweet spot. You know what I'm saying? You can always meet people, you can always be open to meeting people, but I have set boundaries that make sure that I don't get hurt, that the internet doesn't cross over. And the minute you fuck with that, the minute you even touch it and it like threatens my in real life and all that, that's when it stops. because
So you mentioned you're kind of okay with the idea of loneliness because you're meant to be with someone else in the future, or because you
Mhm.
might find someone else, or because spirituality
Yeah.
nurtures you in a way, right? These are the things that sort of feed you. So I just wanted to ask, in what ways do you sort of see you? What ways do you nurture yourself? What ways
Um,
do you have your own back? What ways do you care for yourself? I'm just curious.
I do a lot of inner child work, so I actually have it with me right here. It's a binder I have that it's shadow work. It's got like prompts. It's got like a bunch of like stuff like this, and I swear by this. Anytime I'm feeling triggered, anytime I'm feeling a certain type of way, I will do some of this. I'll do meditation. I'll do journaling. But here's the thing: people don't realize it's kind of like getting the ball rolling. Once you start down a path of like spirituality, it makes the healing easier. And then once you start healing, it makes the whole process quicker because it's like things aren't affecting you like they used to, which allows you to do the self healing and allows you to fix all these things. And I don't know, it was like it happened so quickly. And that's why at first I was apprehensive. I was like, there's no way that I already feel like this. Like there's no way that these signs and these like the progress that I'm making and it's actually like I'm actually changing. But then it's like, who's to say that I am not changing? Like it's been a consistent time period. It's not been like a week thing or a month thing. It's been May is when this all started. And, it's just even aside from the online shit, like May until now, it's crazy how much my life has changed. And, people may not believe me. People may think I'm manic. I have mental health professionals. I take care of myself. I go to the doctor. People only see what I allow them to see. And,
Mhm.
I definitely make time for myself and I nurture myself. And I've noticed that like when I speak to my inner child as a child and like I'll talk to myself and it's like I feel so much better because literally all my inner child wants is to feel validated, to not feel abandoned, like all of these things. And I can give that to myself simply by talking to myself, journaling, acknowledging the emotion itself is the biggest thing you can do. Cause like if you
Mhm.
hide it, if you try and suppress it, it's only going to get bigger and bigger. And that's why it's called your shadow self. That's like your shadow. It's something that's hidden in the dark that you don't allow to come out. But once you bring it to light, it's okay and it makes it smaller and eventually it'll be a little tiny speck, which you still have insecurities sometimes because you're a human and you still have like negative thoughts sometimes. It's life. But what you do with that negativity is the most important because you can transmute negative energy into positive, and that's what I live to do in my life every single day. So
Maybe. Wow. Gang, hey, if you have questions for us, if you have questions for Merc, if you have questions for me or Rora, and you want to call in, I think we'll open up call-ins for a little bit, if that's okay with you. And allow some of my audience to come in here and maybe ask you some stuff directly. So if you're wanting to get in my Discord, !Discord, mods, if you can link those. See, this is why I have my mods. It's not to censor people, it's to do things for me. Mods, if you can put the links in the
I
chat.
have one for like links and like title and stuff. I just mean like I don't allow them to
Yeah,
like
all
delete
good.
messages.
All good. But yeah, post that in my chats, and people can click on the link and they can jump backstage, and we'll pull you in for a little bit and see what you have to say. I think that at the end of the day, I'm not here to convince you of anything. I just wanted to kind of find out where you were coming from. But I would be remiss if I did not say that I'm older than most people in this space, and I see you making the same mistakes I've seen other people make in life. You were
Those are my
building a
mistakes to make.
foundation on sand, and it might stand up, but when the storms come, when the waters rise, will it be enough? I don't know. I hope it
Well,
is. I
here's the
hope I'm
thing.
wrong.
If that happens, it's meant to happen. It's my responsibility to deal with the feelings that arise from that, and it will be a lesson, not a curse. So
What I guess what I would have to say is I very much, and again, you can view yourself however you want. Don't what I say doesn't matter, but I'm going to say it anyways. Essentially, what I see is a person very much strapped in on the roller coaster ride of life without giving themselves any agency to get off on their own and maybe get on a different ride or
So you're saying you want me to stop streaming?
No, not at all. I understand where you're coming from with that because like something you find again, you found something that finally makes you happy. And anytime someone critiques or is concerned, you feel like someone might either want to take it away or shit on your happiness or whatever. But like what I'm saying is you've put a lot of work into this. I'm not gonna at all discount your hard work. Putting that many hours into streaming is insane. I can't do it. It's a lot of work. And I just see you accrediting spirituality instead of giving yourself credit for your own hard
I
work.
am a spiritual person, though.
Yes,
do.
but what I'm saying, but you're also
And-
a person. And so I'm just seeing you sort of rob yourself of your personhood by allowing
Do you
yourself
watch
to
me?
sort of
Do
ride
you
the wave.
Do you actually watch my streams? Do you
I've
consistently
watched quite a.
watch me?
I've spent a lot of time yesterday watching a lot of your content because I didn't want to come into this like uninformed and assuming a lot of shit. And of course, we barely know each other, right? So I can only go based on what I've seen of you.
Trust me,
But
I give myself plenty of credit. Like I said, I'm grateful. I acknowledge my hard work all the time. I just it doesn't make sense to me. Like, yes, everyone is allowed to have opinions because I'm on the internet, but it's like, where do these opinions come from? Do they come from your emotional feelings? Do they come from your insecurities, your shortcomings? Like, I get like trying to understand a person and how they think, but when it's come from a condescending point of view, or like, oh, we think
I'm not
you're mentally.
condescending you. I'm genuinely speaking from my heart with this. I was gonna come into this, and I'm being very transparent and real with you. I was gonna come into this, and I was gonna grill you, but I watched your content, and you really touched me because when I saw you crying and opening up about your childhood, we have so many similarities. And if you want me to be very vulnerable with you, I see a person who is still hurting and dealing with a lot of trauma and codependence issues, and
Me?
yeah, yeah.
It's your opinion.
Yeah, that's fair. The way you described your past relationship with your ex seemed a little codependent.
You
And
move
again, I don't know
on. You
you.
seek mental help. Go to a therapist. It's not that hard. I see a therapist, I see a psychologist, and I see a psychiatrist as well as my MD. So to say that I am all these things and I'm triggered because it's like
I'm not attacking you.
hold on. You are though, because you're coming from like a
You
sense of
feel attacked. I'm
No,
not
no, no, no.
attacking you.
Your tone of voice, the way
I
you're
just
coming at
sound
me.
like a bitch. Everyone thinks that. They always get irritated with the way I sound. I can't help how I sound. It's from you know what? If you smoke weed as many years as me, you're gonna sound like this too.
That's great. The point is, you're saying, I see a person who's got a lot of this, a lot of this. Why don't you focus on yourself? Like, I don't get why people are always
Well,
like,
we're
oh,
here
I
to
see.
focus on you.
I mean,
We're
that's
here to
great,
talk
but
to
don't
you.
say, but are you a mental health professional?
No, but I think that when you go to therapy, it's not on, oh, I go to therapy. When I like fixed my life a lot and I said, you know what, I couldn't have done it without you to my therapist. She said, you know what? Therapy is a tool and you're the person who uses the tool. And some people come into
And
this
I
and they
journal
don't
and I
use
do
the tool. So that's all I'm
this.
saying is that you just seem very much like
I
you're willing to
do.
strap into the ride and just whatever happens, happens. And I'm
And
not condescending you. I don't think I'm better or smarter than you. You are far more educated than me. And you are honestly doing better when you're like, as far as what you do for a living and all that, you are further in life than me in a lot of ways. And you are younger than me. So what I'm
this
seeing
is
is
the
a
reason
person.
why. Do you see how you're treating me right now? Do you think that that's the reason why? If
I'm
it's
not. Tr-
working for me, if
I'm
it's
talking
working
to
for
you with
me,
respect. I'm being very. I've seen a lot of people like Kelly treat you like shit, and I'm
I'd rather
talking
have
to you
Kelly
very
treat me like
nicely.
shit, because this is a real life conversation that actually matters, and you're coming from a condescending point, even though you don't think you
No,
are.
I just think you feel attacked. I just think that you don't like what I'm saying, and it makes you feel attacked because I'm attacking your foundation of who you believe you are as a person.
You are valid to have your own opinion. That's
That's
this,
fine.
this
Absolutely.
conversation is
I don't
about.
expect to like. I don't expect you to walk away from this changed or anything. I'm just here to, I guess, do brain tickling because that's
Oh,
what Wick does on his channel.
you're tickling a whole lot right now.
I can
Oh,
tell.
oh my
This
goodness.
went
It's just so
went a
fucking funny
direction.
because
Are
and
you
now I'm actually gonna get a little.
Go ahead.
What bothers me is like, if you have so many people trying to convince you that you're crazy, you're gonna get pissed off. Imagine every single day you log onto the internet and you hear you're crazy, you're this. It doesn't matter what fucking guards I put up because it's still
I don't
eventually.
think you're crazy. I'm not trying to gaslight you into thinking you're crazy.
You see a hurt individual who has a lot of like codependency issues, and I literally have not been with my ex-boyfriend for months now. I haven't thought about him until we actually just talked about him. I talk about him because he was an experience. He was a lesson that I had to go through to get to where I am, and I'm thankful for the things he taught me. But you're not going to sit here and discredit my whole fucking transformation that
I'm not discrediting you. I'm not discrediting you. I also have
by
issues.
saying I am mentally ill. I'm mentally ill. But let's you don't get rid of your mental illness, but you can change things and you can have a happy life no matter what you suffer. It's what you make with what you got.
What I'm feeling is like I'm talking you up. I'm being respectful. I'm trying to actually like empathize and be kind to you. And I understand that I'm saying some things that are annoying or you don't agree with or whatever. But I clearly see you like pushing away energy that to you feels like you're being attacked. And I just want you to know, again, my intentions are not to attack you. I'm not trying to take away any version of happiness you have. And I'm not trying to invalidate or discredit anything about you. That's just my view and my opinion. So
I respect
I don't. I'm not here to trigger you.
Opinions. Everyone's got opinions, but I respect it. It's your opinion. And
I really want to ask because I'm confused. I thought we were having a great chat, but we talk about energy. Energy's changed, and I have no idea
because
why.
She's coming from a point where she is the authority, and she's not.
I'm not an authority. I'm just sharing my personal experiences and my lessons.
We are not the same.
But
just because we went through similar things.
I'm not saying we're the same, exact same. I said it multiple times. We're not.
Okay. Just let me get this out there because I'm curious and I'm confused because Merc, I've said a lot of the same things that she said to you.
I think at this point, hold on. I think at this point you are trying to find a reason to get me upset. I think you're trying to find a reason to hate me. You guys have already made your mind up about me. Like you said, you came on. Well, the point is the conversation is no longer productive because you're sitting here trying to paint me as a certain type of way, and my chat can see it, and I'm not the only one who can see it that way. So if I was the problem, I would acknowledge it. Well, maybe I'm a little insecure, maybe I'm a little triggered, but if other people can see how you're coming at me, it's a problem.
I'm throwing out ideas as shots in the dark to try to like learn about you and figure you out, and that's what I gathered about you. So again, I am coming from a space where I relate a lot. I'm not saying we're exactly alike. I can only speak from my own experiences and I don't have the same beliefs as you. And for me, I'm just trying to figure out your spirituality and how it guides you versus your idea of yourself. And I do notice that sort of Whick was challenging you a bit and asking certain questions, and you did react a bit differently. Now, I don't know if it's my tone of voice or if it's because I'm a female or whatever, but
she did not just pull the female card. She did not just, every single woman I've ever met on the internet, I have not had problems with because I'm actually nice, because I treat women with respect. Even
you're not being nice to me right now.
Because you actually did something to insult me. You're coming from a point of...
I apologize if I insulted you. That wasn't my intention, Merc.
Okay, well then let's move on from the conversation.
Okay, callers. Do we got callers in?
Let's talk about this. Why does everyone
think get me out of here? Save me. Someone come in here now, please.
Oh
we need a circuit breaker. No, what was your question though? I wanted to hear it, maybe answer it. Go ahead, ask your question, Merc.
I don't know why people think that women have to be mean to other women. Like, even when you're mean to me, like, I'll be the nicest fucking person. I'll be there for you because at the end, we are all connected. We are all interconnected, and we're connected by soul, spirit, body. It doesn't matter. I don't want to be mean to women on the internet because women already fucking get it on the internet. So why would I be mean to a woman? And when you're coming into a debate, you're supposed to put all emotions aside. And yes, it's normal to show emotion. It's normal to get triggered by things, but I think as long as you're getting triggered by the right things, then it's fine. The reason I was so triggered is because it irks me. It irks me to the absolute core that when a person who does not know me, who I can guarantee hasn't even watched maybe 10 hours of my content, doesn't know a lick about me off the internet or anything else, and just comes in here and is like, I see a hurt, individual, a person suffering from certain things.
You literally shared like your entire trauma.
Do I talk about what I talk in therapy? Do I talk about what I talk to my psychologist about? Do I share every single vast detail of my personal life? No. So even if I did, even if I don't, That doesn't mean you know who I am just because of what I put on the internet. Even though I put a lot on the internet.
You better get used to it now because it's only going to
Oh.
happen more. And I am a very gentle version of it. What it could become.
I've had worse.
So
I've had
if
worse.
this conversation
The
is
only
triggering you, I
reason-
pray for you.
You know why it's triggering? Because I actually take the time to actually have a normal conversation and not troll. This is as genuine as I'll get. And when people have a genuine conversation with me, I'm going to get upset by the things they say. Now, if we were trolling and you were just being a bully or whatever, like Kelly or whatever, that's different. Do you see how it's two different kinds of conversations?
I think you were feeling vulnerable and you might have felt like I assumed something about you, which annoyed you. And
all right, we are talking in circles. You think I'm a defensive. I think you're a cunt. That's what it is. Oh, my bad. Shouldn't have said that. Sorry.
It's not a forbidden. Fine. You can again.
I'm high. I smoked a little bit.
Time. I don't care.
Okay.
It's not a word that bothers me.
Okay. I wanna try to just briefly and okay, gang.
My cheeks are so red. Sorry, I'm really high right now. Sorry, continue.
If you like this content and you're watching this on YouTube, hit the like button and the subscribe button. If you're watching this on Kick, hit that follow button. Throw me some love. That's great. I just don't know where to go from here, to be honest with you, because I think we've reached an impasse where nothing either of us say are going to get through to the other. Does that make sense at all? Like, I don't think that, like, because I wanted to figure out a little bit about you.
I think you figured out a lot. I think you got a good amount. You've tested the waters. You've seen
as much as one can.
What do you want to know? My favorite color? What my favorite song?
I don't give a shit about any of that. I guess I would just want to know, the last question I'll ask. What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear in this space. My only fear in this space is me giving up simply because I was scared. Like, I know you've got to have a fear to be scared of something, but like, if that really makes sense, my only fear is that I give up because I fear. And whether that's, I fear that this isn't meant for me, I fear this, I fear that. I think we all have this inherent fear that we all need to deal with, that we all need to address, because fear is literally the only thing holding you back from what you're meant to have in your life. And I don't fear anything specific. I fear itself. And that is it. That's the only thing I fear.
He who has lost fear has lost a friend. In a lot of cases. Fear is a protective mechanism. While I understand the sentiment, there is something to be said about caution. But it is your life.
Well, there's caution and naivete. Just because I'm not fearful doesn't mean I'm naive. Just maybe because I'm not fearful doesn't mean I'm fucking retarded.
And let's be real. I don't know what I'm doing either. Okay.
I know what I'm doing. See how you included me in your verbiage? Don't include me in that. You don't know what you're doing.
Sure, I don't know what I'm doing. I'll be real with you. I have no idea what I'm doing. When we talk about, like, I know who I am. Who am I? I'm still trying to figure that out. I don't know. I guess that is me, is if we had to figure out Whick, then Whick doesn't know what he's doing, who he is, or why he's even here. But we're trying to figure it out, and we learn a little bit each day. Gang, I guess where can people find you if they want to find you in the future? If they like what you're saying and they want to come and check you out, where can they get you?
My Kick, Merc off the perc. My Twitter, Merc off the perc, and then my Instagram, which is a little more difficult.
Did you have any questions that you wanted to ask, or things you wanted to share that we didn't get to talk about that you wish we did?
Not really. Pretty much get it all out.
Gang.
I will say this.
Oh, please.
I will say this. I hope that this aids some people in getting an inside scope to who I am as a person. I think that there is value in being real sometimes, even though the internet itself isn't. But yeah, I hope that this was able to answer some questions and maybe encourage people to work with me in the future. Probably not, considering I called her a cunt, but my apologies.
I'm like you, like literally there is, after having that profile picture on Facebook put up of me and that sent everyone, I'm so fucking numb to shit. Literally, I'm chill. It's good.
So good. I think this was a positive experience.
I'm glad we all think so. I enjoyed it, so thanks for coming on. And if you ever want to come on my show in the future, like normally we do panels and stuff like that, it's up to you. Reach
Sure.
out. I'm always welcome to have people on. But for now, Merc, we're gonna say goodbye. Say bye-bye.
Thank you for having me.
To the void. Okay, wow. Okay, that was a thing. Did I miss something? Did I tune out for a minute? Maybe I just don't have an ear for it. But why was she angry at you?
Okay, first up, I brought up the female card because when I was that age, I very much didn't trust females and tend to trust males more. So that was my assumption. It wasn't because Nick girl, but I think what happened is, and I just want to say, I was really trying to be respectful. And I am technically assuming shit about her, right? I don't know her. We don't know her, but I just very much saw someone who was sharing a lot of hurt, and I wanted to describe my vision of what that is and my concern for maybe self-destructive behavior because of that or something. That's the direction I was trying to go. And I think she was just feeling vulnerable, and I struck a nerve, or she felt defensive or just didn't want to go down that route. Or maybe she did feel attacked. I don't know. It wasn't my intention.
Olive, you're a little late to the party. What you got?
Well, hi. I was gonna help translate maybe why it kind of came off a bit rude to her. If you guys wanted, just because look here's
I'm
my
totally
experience.
willing. Yeah.
Yeah, here's the thing. So I have a pretty big age difference with my little sister. It's about 8 years. And one of the really rough parts about 8 years is like 8 years is just enough time that you can see someone making some of the same mistakes you made, and you were like, why can't you just do it like I did it? And it's kind of like a self-protection. It's a projection of like wanting to protect yourself. So I know where you're coming from. You feel like I'm coming from this place of love. I want to show her all these things I've learned. But the problem is there's like just enough space there where this information is kind of coming kind of out of nowhere. And I think it also misses the point that people need to make their own mistakes, and they might not even learn the same lessons from those mistakes that you did. So that's actually why it's important for them to make their own mistakes. Because the thing is, my sister, if she had listened to everything I said, she would have had a really different life path. And so luckily she and I had a really contentious relationship where we always fought and none of my advice was heeded. But I'm glad she didn't, because we're really different people in the end. So I think that's one of the things I always advise is like kind of this whole like this giving advice of being like, you're making this mistake I made. It almost, I've never seen it land, to be quite honest.
Well, I'm not. I guess. Let me. I'm not necessarily trying, like I said, to get a result from her. That's not my end goal. I don't know her well enough, and I honestly think that she's just going to do what she's going to do. I was more trying to lead down a path of where I could kind of learn more about why she does what she does. And I bring up the age thing, and I understand how that can feel because I have older people who give me advice, and I know exactly what you're saying, where it's like someone wants to seize the answer, but I'm just going to generalize. Someone sees the answer and they want to give this person the answer, but the answer is different for every single person.
Right.
So that's not what I'm doing. And I can see exactly where maybe that's how she felt. So I appreciate that insight, but that's not the position I guess I'm trying to necessarily take. I am more, I guess, trying to delve and pry to the why. And I was sort of trying to lead that as an intro to the path. And of course, in the end, everyone's a human being and everyone's going to project a great deal of, how they feel about their personal experiences. It's natural that I'm going to obviously feel concerned if I see someone do a certain thing and lead down a certain path, if I'm focusing on that person, that is. And I think the focus was her today, and I think that I was just trying to get to seeing outside of the orb she lives in and what might be down the road.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I'm just sort of trying to explain why I think some of that advice or some of that like, you know, investigation into the conversation comes with barbs.
Yep.
Like it's going to be like it's like barbed wire, because people are just going to be really put off by this idea that they are making a mistake inherently, when like, because maybe it was a mistake for you, but it might not be a mistake for her. So I think that's what she kept kind of repeating, is like
I
there's
think
all these
she was
assumptions.
I think she's interpreting that. This is how I think she's interpreting based on, what you're saying to me and all this, that I am saying what she's doing as far as her streaming career is a mistake. And that's not at all. I hope that she's successful. And I hope that whatever it is in her life, fuels her and makes her happy is what makes her happy. I guess I'm sort of just coming from the position of, I believe that we can share cautionary tales without robbing someone of the thing that makes them happy that we're trying to share the cautionary tale about. That's all I'm saying.
Allison. Oh.
Okay, I might be able to switch to my laptop. Actually, I'm gonna hang up and get right back in on my
fair enough,
laptop
fair
because
enough.
it'll just be better.
Okay, we'll see you in a second. Fair enough. I wish you guys had called in while she was still here. That would have been nice, right?
It would have been helpful too for me. Yeah.
Well, she's still in the backstage.
I
so
like
it's okay.
I DM'd her if
Oh,
she's still on the phone.
Soyaddle's in the backstage.
I
God,
saw
I may want to
Soy
save her from
approaching her
that.
with his. I know. I was
Saw
gonna say, I didn't want to cuck the content. You know what I mean? I didn't want to build a bridge necessarily because it's sometimes fun to watch people embattle these ideas, But
Yeah.
I'm happy to build a bridge now.
You wanted to see it play out first.
Well, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was definitely it felt like we flipped a switch or something, and what was, I felt, a pretty mild conversation suddenly became acidic. And again, I'll have to look back. I'll have to review the tape and find out why, because I genuinely do not understand why.
You guys were little broing her pretty hard. I'm not gonna lie. You were kind of little broing her pretty
What does that
hardcore.
mean? I'm a boomer. Come on, explain it to me.
Well, okay, yeah. First of all, I've noticed, and to be fair, look, this is a thing I've noticed a lot of people do.
Allison,
It's not
Allison,
exclusive to
if
you
you're
guys.
on your laptop,
Yeah.
turn your camera on. But go on.
It's definitely, it's where you pull the age card at times, which again, as I'm older as well. I get it. There's certain things I've seen because of age, and there's a certain conferred authority that I feel I have. The problem is, when you're talking to like younger people, the age card doesn't mean anything because all you're saying is these are my experiences. And all you hear is I'm projecting my experiences. So you really have to like level that criticism or that advice at a scale that doesn't kind of come with this conferred authority. Do you see what I mean? Like that's where little broing comes from. Is it's kind of like got this someone speaking from a place of authority when you don't necessarily like feel that authority conferred. Do you see what I mean? And the thing is, while I acknowledge, respect, Wick, love, respect your advice, you know what I mean? I'm not saying you guys were saying anything crazy. I will say sometimes if you actually want to reach someone with advice, speaking from a place of authority is actually the worst place to speak from, right? Speaking from a level, like we're at level, that's sometimes like the best way to actually get
Speaking on
advice
their
through.
level.
Or waiting, hearing them talk about their experience to the point that they start asking questions, and then you're kind of like got that advice available.
I guess where I found it hard was in the realm of spirituality, and so my intention was, before the acidity started happening, was to sort of like, for me, try to connect with where like just her connection with spirituality and to understand that, and that's sort of where I was trying to go with the whole personhood thing, is I'm just because I'm the least spiritual person, so.
Well,
I
there
will
you
say I
go.
at least appreciated how yeah, she was obviously very like woo woo, like intensely, like I mean she would say like very spiritual, but she also like clearly believed in psychiatry. Like she talked
Yeah.
about having like a doctor, psychiatrist, therapist, etc. Like I have personally met a lot of people who like they have serious mental health issues and they adopt spirituality in lieu of like modern medicine, which she was not doing at all. So like props, you know?
I don't know if that's true.
Oh.
Maybe, but like,
I mean, she said I'm not saying that she's like killing the mental stability game. I don't fucking know her, but like she said she has a psychiatrist, a therapist. She cloaked it in like a lot of spiritual terms. I don't really know what inner child work is, but it sounded like just introspection and like writing, right? Like, which is good for you. Like, even if you
know what
have
inner
like
child is?
a spiritual like
I don't think
Veneer
intertwined
I know
is
what you mean.
spiritual.
Typically, spiritually
I don't
laden
know what
people
it. I
tend to
genuinely
not
don't know
go
what it is.
toward.
It might not be.
People like her tend to not even believe in people. People tend to not even want to believe in psychiatry and things like that. So
No, that's not true at
That
all. No, I mean
doesn't
that's
seem. I mean, shadow
heavily.
work is definitely psychology
yeah,
and
interchild's not
also
even necessarily
spirituality
spiritual.
and that too. So
I
totally-
just I've
The
seen a
only
lot of
thing she said
heavily.
that was like even kind of spiritual was the ascended master stuff, which I don't even really know what that means. But
Wait, what are
she
you talking
wasn't.
about?
She wasn't even that spiritual. I mean, she's
What?
obviously guided by spirituality. Well, no. But I mean, I'm just like she wasn't like. I'm not saying she wasn't that spiritual. What I mean, she wasn't saying that crazy spiritual shit. She was saying like pretty. I thought pretty normal things in terms of like. She wasn't dropping like huge spiritual bombs that kind of take you down weird 5D paths. Like it was all pretty normative stuff. So it's weird that you guys are like.
I think you've been
reading her as, like, extremely
desensitized to
unhinged.
what's weird,
Well,
Olive.
again, from a lot of weird
Come
places.
on, Wick. Like
Wanna watch
Jesus
me
take the
do
wheel
it.
is normie shit.
only
That's
thing,
basically
the
it.
only thing that is weird is that people aren't used to hearing this. People talk like that on stream. That's the only thing. But when people talk about their spirituality, that was pretty straight up normal as far as it goes. Like, you know what I mean? Pretty standard. Nothing unhinged. Nothing raising red flags. It's just people don't stream and talk about this.
No, okay. I think it's normal for like that's how people sound when you go to music festivals. But like when you're just in like Twitch full discords, like that's not how people sound.
Okay, well, just because some people have to take drugs to be cool and get it and feel
No, that's not
100%
what I'm
their
saying. I'm
problem,
just saying
not
you
mine.
generally like that's the only setting where I've heard people speak like that. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is you don't typically hear
That's
people
your
talk.
selection.
Y'all
That's
need to
your
visit.
selection of
Y'all
where
need
you
to
go on the
visit.
internet.
Okay, I don't
Visit
know who's
Portland,
doing this,
Oregon.
but there's some kind of weird echo that's happening from one of you.
It might be me.
Okay.
The only
Who's
people
like
I'm
that
very
queen?
spiritually familiar with, just from my experiences and people I've known, have been very anti like mental health field type stuff because destiny is destiny. So that's my personal experience. That's where I'm coming from with it. I know there's lots of spiritual people that are very, still very in with that vibe. That's my personal experience. So.
Gotcha.
So Yaddle, what was that? What was that game plan?
Oh,
Did it work?
Yes.
Or did you
No,
scare
well,
her
I mean,
off?
I was obviously when pressed, I had to go with the biggest joke in my pocket. So, but it's a half joke. But let's be clear. That's where she bailed. Like dating a bisexual man. That's where she bailed. What do I know about Merc's backstory? She was flirty or getting with Destiny at one point, and
I don't know
Destiny is bi. So is that Destiny's off the table now?
Man, I don't know.
I don't know. You should
This is a
ask
weird
her.
route to go.
This is the facts at hand. This is all I've got. So this is what I
What if
gotta know. I
XQC
gotta
was
know.
bi?
Did she just like axe half of the Twitch leadership because she won't date bi people? Is that it? Is that your biphobia gonna
I don't
nix
know.
all your future relationships?
Look, there's bi and there's bi
just wanna
vibes.
say, how did she know that Wick's not like some high ascended sage that actually is trying to teach her some stuff? Like that's what really offended me.
That offended you?
It offended me too. Look, I am the voice of the universe. Like I challenge you to prove otherwise. I think that I speak, and the world arranges itself around my words. And I think that this
okay.
is something that we need to take seriously if we are going to be a wicker, as they say. I just worry, and I know I say worry a lot. I've said worried a lot tonight, but I'm being serious. I worry about anyone, not just her, who has this idea that whatever will be que sera, sera type of deal, because it excuses it's almost like a form of Stockholm syndrome with the past and the future, in that you make this kind of meaning to the chaos of life, and it will cause you to stay in situations you shouldn't for longer than you should. And yeah, I'm concerned. In this space, the whole Streamerville has the unfortunate side effect that a lot of the audience out there, and I see you little audience, you little clout demons, you little content goblins out there who will absolutely push someone that's a little woo-woo out there. And let's be clear, she was woo-woo out there. She was woo-woo out there. Let's be real. And push people like that because they want the content cow. They want to milk the content cow. So your audience is your enemy in a lot of ways.
Yep.
And yeah, I worry
Nah.
that her audience is absolutely not looking out for her best interest.
She also sort of described, I do X, or I have this sense of humor. I make said jokes because, oh, well, that's what, grew me, or whatever the initial statement was. And it's like, but that mechanism continues. And the more you're in this world, the lines blur more and more, and it becomes harder to discern.
I feel like I'm way crazier than her, and I don't even have an audience cheering me on, and no one's doing intervention.
Okay,
for
but
me.
Olive, you're a special case, okay?
But
Like,
I
you're
don't even
not
have
normal.
the excuse of an audience cheering. I don't even have the validation. I'm just crazy like this for no fucking reason.
You should look at her
Where's my
Instagram. And she
intervention?
did some good Instagram work. So you combine that with crazy, and you gotta rock it.
I don't know. Look, I know we did the whole Fousey, discourse a little bit ago, and I think that discourse is unfortunately bleeding into this stuff, because I actually think it's great when people push the seal of online discourse and try to introduce something that's always going to feel a little fucking weird and zany, and it's going to make people uncomfortable when they first start speaking it into existence, because there's not necessarily like a sort of dialogue tree built around it. But I kind of like the things she's talking about. She is talking about some pretty hard trauma dumping shit at times, but you know what? That's real. That's what happens at a real life party, that people corner you and trauma dump, and it's real fast. People talk about their spiritual journeys at fucking coffee shops. I don't know if you guys, I've been living in Portland for a while, so that's just kind of how it is in that city. But I do think you guys need to talk about people's spiritual journeys. She was not that. I have heard way crazier shit.
I'm sure you have. Like, I have too. Look, I have worked with unhoused individuals and other people going through serious shit. And I have been in very, for lack of a better term, woo-woo circles before. But it's not normal. And
I thought you said you were an ascended master. Now your story is full of contradictions. Are you a woo-woo spiritual?
If I contradict myself, I contradict. See, once you ascend to my level, what has been false becomes true, and what is true becomes false, and then the levels above it reverses, right?
You're like a riddler. You're like the riddler who
riddler
makes you
Batman villain?
Makes you solve a riddle to pass the bridge or something.
Like, you mean like
playing
the
word
Sphinx?
games here. Yeah, you're
Damn.
the Sphinx. You're the Sphinx.
Damn, I am the Sphinx. It's true. I got a riddle. And if you can solve it, you can stay on. Okay, you ready for the riddle?
What crawls in morning, walks upright.
A man. We already know that one. Okay, here's one.
I'm too riddle. I'm sorry. I'm too stupid for riddles. Emery,
you don't want a riddle?
I'm too stupid to solve them. I don't want to be tested. I'm not ready for the Sphinx.
Wait, so admittedly, I didn't watch, but I've seen Merc. How did she do, Wick? Was she too much? Was she okay? Was she?
I don't know if she's okay, but she was fine.
You don't know if she's okay.
The little
issue
broed
at the
her.
end was it. I thought the energy was good for the first half, but in the last half it turned, and I still don't know why. I still don't know what happened.
I thought it was longer than a half. I thought it was longer than a half of chill, honestly chill.
Yeah, it was literally like 3/4 show. It was fine.
My only concern is if is it's okay to platform somebody who's a little out of whack, but I get a little concerned if it becomes just a bullying session the entire time. So I'm not saying anything like that is happening. I have no idea what's happening now, but that happens on Destiny streams a lot. So just hoping that doesn't happen to her, because I don't want people to go on this mean streak of
and I hope,
this is like the devil now and everything. Yeah.
Sure. I think I went out of my way not to have that happen.
Yeah.
But I guess you'll have to watch it and decide for yourself. I think that at the last 3/4, she felt like Rora attacked her, but I did not no one else was getting that vibe, right? No one else was getting that vibe. I could be wrong though.
I was just concerned she was using spirituality to revoke her own agency and a lot of things in life that could make her, happy. That was just the concern.
It was a little broing session, but I don't think it was. I don't think it crossed the
Well,
line.
if we
It was more
talk about projection,
bullying.
though, I want to say, like, are you the younger one in that? Was your sibling older?
What? No, I'm the older one.
You're the older one? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice try. Nice try.
Well, you're still projecting how you feel about your personal situation into this. And no, I don't disagree with you, but I'm just
Projection is
saying.
completely normal. I don't think projection's a
when we
problem. But
little bro
people resist information when it comes from projection, because often projections, like it's instead of just like offering this information, we map it onto the world. So I was trying to offer my experience. Like, this has been a really tense part of my dynamic with my little sister, and something that I've always had to learn with, because 8 years apart, that gap never closes. I'm always seeing my life be played out in her life and seeing her make some of the same mistakes I make, and it's I always have to like work really hard to basically keep my mouth shut, because honestly too, the few times that I've really like tried to little bro her, or I guess little sis her, I made it worse. She did the exact opposite that I told her to do, because I was being so annoying to her. So I kind of quickly realized, like, like that's not how you get information.
Just to say hi, thanks to all the new follows on Kick. I don't usually stream exclusively to Kick, so I guess we're not exclusive tonight. We got YouTube going too. But so thanks for tuning in, and we'll see how it goes, right? But keep I didn't mean to interrupt the story. I just wanted. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
So where's the line, I guess I'll ask for fun, between little broing and never giving advice ever? Because, I could give advice, but there's obviously, I'm at risk of little broing, right? Now, like, I guess where's that line? That's for someone who's younger specifically, like, because if I'm talking to someone my age, what did you say? Sorry?
You ask, hey, are you interested in any constructive criticism, right? That'd be a way to open it up.
Look, if I see someone driving towards just real quick, if I see someone driving towards a cliff, I don't ask if I can maybe give them some constructive criticism before they drive off.
That's a warning.
And I think that, like, I'm being serious, and I know people would say soy or whatever, but I think she's heading off a cliff. I absolutely do.
Little broing is like a playful way of, like, it's like small amounts of bullying of, like, here's what you're doing wrong and why you're doing it wrong, but in like a tone of like demeaning a little bit, like, yeah, I'm older than you, or I have more experience.
I was not demeaning to her in any way.
No, I'm not saying that's what I'm saying that's usually
generally.
It's usually what people think of little broing, is what I'm saying. Is usually think like there's advice, but it's a little smug and snarky. Yeah.
I sound smug. My voice, I gave her credit because I have the most irritating, and I come off smug even when I'm not. It's been a problem in my relationships, and I've actually had to like tone police myself a lot because I just sound like that. And I understand, like, I probably was at a certain point, I'm not perfect, and I'm just attempting from actually a genuine place to just try to connect and understand, but also like Whick said, like, it's just regardless of anything, it is hard to see, and I don't know her outcome, right? I could be wrong about all of this, so.
I impulsively worry about I don't know her, I don't watch her, right? But anybody who, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but it is, like, I feel like objectively very risky to be so intensely vulnerable on the internet. Like, if she has like disclosing sex trauma on the internet, I do worry that, like, that gives people more ammo to use against you if, like, the crowd turns against you. Like, they have, like, the worst shit that's ever happened to you to, like, throw at you. So I'm not saying that she's not built to be able to, like, withstand that. Like, maybe she's just, like, emotionally titanium, right? I do not know her, but, like, I kind of, like, reflexively worry about anybody who's, like, I don't know.
I think
that's the place I'm coming from too, because that has happened to me. So, it's just like I don't want that for someone else, no matter if I know them or not. So that's kind of the place I was.
I think it will be used. I think it will be used against her, but from people who don't even have a reason to, just to troll or something. So she needs to, like, prepare for that and hopefully be able to take that, because that's probably going to happen. Unfortunately,
there's this like, my original channel name before I became WhickTV, before I rebranded, was Death of Certainty, and I guess my biggest the thing I've learned from talking with her in the brief time we did, and again, I could be wrong. This impression I got, very possible that it was incorrect. Maybe she came in and I missed the cues, didn't communicate properly, whatever. But she seemed very certain of herself in almost every aspect. That, I don't know. It just, there will come a time where that will fail you. And I used to be much more certain than I was, right? Like, than I am now. And there will come a time, like it did with me, and I think it to everyone, where what you believe to be true is shown to be absolutely not true, and it creates a problem, and that is expounded upon when you have 100 people in your chat all yelling at you or all pushing you different directions. I don't know. It's just I don't know how to say this without sounding condescending. I don't know how to talk about this without sounding little broy. And but it needs to be said. It would be
Does it?
wrong of me. Yes, it absolutely does. If you see someone driving towards a cliff, say hey. If you see something, say something. We say that all the time. And I think that's true. It needs to be said. If you see something happening, bring it up. Now, like I said, she's free to ignore me. That's fine. A lot of people ignore me. That's okay. But I would be remiss if I did not say it.
So when's streamer camp, Whick? When are you going to teach us all to be better streamers?
Look, my advice is not to be like my advice will not make you successful as a streamer. In fact, it might hurt your success as a streamer, but it will keep you from doing really weird, messed up shit to yourself. Right?
Okay.
It absolutely
I
will.
gotta go. My housemate got me pad thai. Bye.
Do you think? But I think that like this is where the odds come in, because this space incentivizes you to do and engage in destructive behaviors. It does for everyone.
Are the things that she's doing right now that is like driving off the cliff? Is that what's getting her attention in the first place?
I think
this
so.
Much attention?
I don't know so, but I think so.
So it's like this. It's like what's the word? It's like this really shitty situation where it's like I have to do something that's possibly bad for me to get more people to actually view my content to be successful.
It's not.
If I stop doing this, like, I don't know.
Yeah, and you don't usually think. Most people don't think about it in that directive of a link. It's more of a subconscious thing that happens when, at least for me, when I see certain things, and we're all guilty of this to some extent. When we see our numbers go up, it changes our behavior. Right? We try to continue to have those numbers go up and continue to do what it is that made our numbers go up in the first place. But the problem with that is, well, look at the 𝕵𝖎 situation, right? Look at these other streamers who've had huge life issues because they became lolcows, right? Because their audience was there egging them on the whole way. And it's the audiences. I blame the audiences a lot for this kind of shit, right?
If it meant giving up her career, would you recommend she stop?
Well, I'm not making any advocacy and recommending for giving it up, right? Like, I'm just like, think of me as a guy that says, "Hey, there's turbulent seas ahead. I'm not telling you what to do with your boat. You can keep out on the water if you like, but just maybe to be aware."
That the waves will be crashing.
Yes.
And I feel like you and I were both very good at reiterating, you can take it or leave it. We're not here to tell you what to do. We're just, throwing it out into the wind, and you can grab whatever you want and take it if you feel like. Like that's what I tried to reiterate more than once, that it's just my opinion.
At the end of the day, I'm not the most super streamer guy. Like, I'm no Destiny. I'm no huge streamer. I'm a very small streamer. So obviously, I'm not the guy to give you super success in the streamer world. But I don't know. I just know harmful behavior when I see it. I just do.
I think maybe we can learn something from
Soy, then Allison. Go ahead.
So we can learn from some Twitch personalities that self-destructed, and from what I've seen, folks like 𝕘𝖎𝖙 definitely have self-destructed in a very bad way. I don't really see all of the same warning signs that I see with 𝕘𝖎𝖙. maybe there's some unique factors there, but I'd like to believe not. I think that the situations you put yourself in can lead to some direct harm, and 𝕬𝖎𝖙 did some things that set her up for extreme harm and harm to the community. And maybe I'm just not familiar enough with Merc's content, but I haven't seen that here.
Fair enough. I'm curious what you saw 𝕬𝖎𝖙 do specifically, though. But
Who was the anti-trans or the trans streamer that she went on with and was like jokingly, "Oh, I'm with you," and really played into that conversation, and then all of the other manic stuff and
I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with 𝕬𝖎𝖙's.
If anything,
it's been a minute.
𝕬𝖎𝖙 was in a lot of controversy, but she is in a not an amazing place, but she has a career for streaming. She has her own little community. She's fine right now.
Right.
So,
Right,
Awesome.
but I think that's a worst case maybe, and so you still have a minor following. You're not dead in the water, but you're not rocketing to the top.
Oh, the thing is, if you make a career out of like self-sabotage or harming yourself, like the moment you stop doing that and your audience stops watching, yeah, that's better for you, but like it also kind of destroys your career because your career was built on like this idea of like this is what I'm giving my audience, and if the audience doesn't see it, they're not going to want to watch it. So yeah.
What were you trying to say, Allison? I wanted to make sure you got space here. Go ahead.
Okay, just commenting on the conversational breakdown a little bit, okay, from like the bird's eye view, right? Because on one hand, I could like kind of feel her getting like more irritated, and I could also feel like, why the rise in temperature? Like, where is this coming from? Like I don't see it. Everybody seems like well intentioned here. Like, where is it coming from? I wondered, like, how was the conversation framed to her? Because it seems like a lot of people in the audience and like Rora could have reasonably believed that she like basically impliedly consented to like getting people's opinions and like honest opinions about like what they've seen and everything.
Well,
even though,
pitched it to her. Yeah, I can answer this question. I pitched it to her as
So I
we're
just
gonna.
wonder.
Yeah, I pitched it to her as we're gonna talk about her experiences in online content creation. That's what I said. I watched. I'm just gonna paraphrase. I'm not gonna quote directly what I said, but basically, I watched your conversation. I'm curious to talk to you. Let's talk about your online experiences, content creation, how it's affected you, etc. Yeah, it's pretty vague, right? But that's how I usually am when pitching things.
I could see one situation where like maybe it was like accidentally, like Rora knew it was going to be this kind of situation where y'all are both like, you're heading off the cliff. Like, we are worried. We see red flags. They're bright red. We see multiple. And maybe she literally thought you just wanted to like chat about the stream where she went on with XQC. And then she's like, oh, what the fuck? Like, why am I getting hit with all this right now? Like,
Totally
I could see
that, yeah.
like maybe that having happened.
That's what I think happened. That's definitely what I think happened. Whereas me and Wick sort of, like you said, knew what we were getting into, but she didn't. So, especially because she's new to these spaces too, right? And not familiar with Wick.
How long has she had a Twitch account?
I think she started streaming in early August.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. You need to have rules and boundaries for yourself. You'll find those as you go along.
True enough.
It's such a learning process.
Look, my
Yeah.
content from when I was doing this a month is so fundamentally different than my content now. For better or worse, right? Like, there is this new person energy that you got when you're new to this world, your oyster, and things like that. Back when I had like 2 viewers, it changes. It changes as you go, and I think that if it doesn't change, if it doesn't evolve, that's also a problem, right? Your content should not be the same a year from now than what it is today. Like, I don't know. It's a red flag to me if someone I meet is the same person they were in high school, right? Like, if you're the same person you were in high school, why? What happened? Right? Like, where did things go wrong? I think that like growth, change is constant, and that's a good thing. And yeah, I wish her all the best. I hope that I'm wrong, I've been
Me
wrong
too.
before, right? And I hope that maybe she's just a content genius. I just don't know about it. Is there anything else you guys want to talk to me about while I was here? Anything you wanted to bring up about the conversation in general, life?
I didn't mean to be rude when I called her woo. I didn't know that was like I wasn't trying to be rude. And when I said like it sounds normal for music festivals, but maybe not for Twitch poll, like I don't mean to be rude. I honestly don't think that most people, like I think most people are kind of like more strict, like materialists, like not sort of immediately believing in all this stuff that we
Was
can't
anyone
perceive.
offended by the woo thing? Like maybe I'm.
Well, I thought some people were like somebody was like, "Oh, sorry, you have to go to raves to like be cool and do drugs to be cool." I was like, I didn't say anything about drugs. I'm just saying you don't normally hear people talking about twin flames and manifesting and like all this stuff in these spaces. Like I didn't think that was gonna be like, I don't know. I feel like I did strike a nerve with some people, but I didn't try to.
Yeah.
I wanted at one point to do Whick versus the Witches and to get a bunch of witches and like no shit serious practitioners on there and to just try to have a conversation with them. And I thought that would be funny. I talked to a few witches and stuff. It just never went anywhere. But now I'm kind of wanting to do that again. I want to get the woo woos, Whick versus the woo woos on, and just have a conversation with them.
I would love to see that. I was big into that community at one point.
At one point, what got you out of the woo woo stuff?
I grew up.
Noted. Piggy Butt, you're here. You haven't said much. What you got for us?
Yeah, minds are going to be
Your
out of this world.
Your mic's gone. What's going on? But we can't hear you or
Oh,
understand
no.
you.
Hello. Hello, hello. Mic check. Mic check. Hello.
Better.
Hello. Okay. Yeah, if you think her takes were crazy, you're going to have to strap in for mine because I do feel like my perspectives differ from the normal person, which, yeah. So I wouldn't mind discussing. It has to do with like time travel, different dimensions, the merging of timelines. It sounds kind of crazy, but yeah, I would like to have this conversation eventually. And people have been being concerned for my mental well-being, but I would argue most people don't have a firm grasp on what reality truly is to begin with.
What are most people missing from reality that we should wake up to?
It's not about waking up. It's just like I think it's just about observation. Like that's the main thing. You need to be aware of your surroundings first, and then you could start. It's a growing process. You know, I don't want to start getting into this now. Like I'm at work right now trying to do some stuff, but I wanted to jump in and kind of
I'm going to let you
contribute
get
a little
back to
bit.
work because I'm going to end the stream, gang. It's been great. It's
Okay.
been fun. What we got coming up? Let me tell you what we got coming up before I end this. Tomorrow, we're going to have PF Young on. We're going to have President Sunday on, and they're going to be talking about Jordan Peterson's Maps of Meaning. I'm going to be moderating that shit. Tune in. Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be having Loner Box. We got Lauren De Laguna. We got Straighterade. We got several other people. And they're going to be coming on, and we're going to be arguing shoplifting. Is shoplifting based, actually? Some of them say yes, some of them say no. We'll find out how that goes. Thursday, Thursday, Sansol and Non-Smoker will be debating the Holodomor. I'll be moderating that. And then Friday, we're going to have Turkey Tom on, and we're going to have a few other people. We're going to talk about React content. Should be fun, should be great. Tune in. It'll be fun. It'll be a time. Hope everyone enjoyed tonight. Who are we reading into? Who's streaming on YouTube? And go to. No one? None of you? Beautiful.
No.
Okay, we'll just end it. I love you all. I'll see you guys later.